Afternoon on a county road. Henry County deputies say Robert Parks suffered a medical issue that caused him to fall. He landed in a shaded area of the road and was then hit by a driver passing by. Deputies arrived a little after 1 o'clock, but Parks died right there. The driver was not injured. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Fever kept their season alive by beating the Las Vegas Aces 90-83 in Game 4 of the WNBA semifinals, which forces a decisive Game 5 back in Vegas Tuesday night. Fever head coach Stephanie White says they were the more aggressive team this time.
And usually when we're aggressive and we move the ball, good things happen for us. We attacked, we played with a sense of urgency, we made the right reads and the right plays. The ball moved really well, and we found the open player, and we got production from multiple players.
The winner goes on to the WNBA Finals. And with traffic now, here's Matt Baer.
What's up, John? Looking at northbound 65 at 38th Kessler. That is a crash. No delay at the moment. Crash on the south side, Raymond Street at Sherman Drive. And northbound 65 still slows from Raymond Street into the south split because of that construction zone. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy Button is back with even more easy. Present for custom print shipping services. Even passport photos. Staples. That was easy. I'm Matt Baer on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
As an IT professional, you have the opportunity to guarantee your data security, participate in 100% landfill-free disposal, and have peace of mind with R2 V3 certifications. Technology Recyclers provides guaranteed complete data destruction, 100% landfill-free disposal, and the certification to back it up. Protect your data while saving the planet. Receive a free pickup of your e-waste from Technology Recyclers. Visit tech-recyclers.com. That's tech-recyclers.com.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business.
We mean business.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Today, you've got a high of about 87. Sunny skies again on Tuesday, a high of 83, low around 60 on Tuesday night and tonight, then a high of 80 on Wednesday as temperatures cool down a little bit. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 9:06, time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So who is going to win the marketing strategy? What you've got here is the same company with two different marketing approaches. Talking about the government shutdown. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC. My name is Casey. Rob is off today, taking one extra day to enjoy his extra super happy long weekend. And Jim is joining me. Thank you for being here this morning. So let's talk about this government shutdown. Donald Trump agreed to meet with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and also the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer today to discuss this government shutdown. The meeting comes as Congress faces this partial government shutdown. The deadline is tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. By the way, tomorrow, big day in Washington, D.C.
A lot going on tomorrow.
You have Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, calling all the generals back, and then you also have this potential government shutdown looming. So Jeffries and Schumer, they stated that the Democrats are willing to negotiate anywhere at any time.
So,
anywhere, anytime.
Here's my prediction. The government is going to shut down tomorrow.
Okay.
There's not going to be some last minute whatever that's going to delay it. The government's going to shut down. And really, because mostly Trump wants to shut the government down because he came out over the weekend and said, look, we shut the government down. I'm going to fire thousands and thousands of federal employees.
Right.
That's what he tried to do under Doge with Elon Musk, and most courts blocked him from doing that. So the Democrats have no leverage. They're like, hey, if you don't do what we want, we're going to shut the government down. And Trump is sitting there going, okay, I dare you. And then on the other side, because here's the problem. Schumer and Jeffries, most of the pressure they're getting are from the ultra-left progressives that are coming at them and saying, you must stand up for Trump, and if that means shutting the government down, that's what we've got to do. And so they're getting a lot of pressure not to bend to Trump's will either. And they're trying to. Trump is proposing a clean CR, continuing resolution.
Sure.
Absolutely nothing tied to it. Let's just keep the government funding the way we've been doing it. The Democrats are trying to add in all these subsidies for Obamacare and all these other freebies and legalized vote buying schemes. And because that's what their progressive left wants them to do. So really, I don't see any other option here than the fact of the matter is government's going to shut down tomorrow.
So Republicans control both chambers of Congress, although the House is on recess right now. Senate passage requires 60 votes, meaning that the Democrats, they're going to need a couple of them to go along with what the Republicans want. But this is all about health care programs and continuing on with Obamacare.
And look, none of the Democrats are going to buck the trend and vote against the way Schumer wants them to vote. He keeps his Democrats in line. They may be mad at him for a lot of stuff, but I just don't see what they would need. What, eight Democrats to cross over and vote with Republicans on that. There's no way they're getting 8 Democrats.
Okay, so there could be some federal workers across agencies like NASA, the National Park Service could get furloughed. Federal courts may close. Grants and services for small businesses could be delayed. But okay, how long is it going to last? You know, over the past 50 years, there have been 21 different federal shutdowns.
That's almost one every other year.
Between 1976 and 1990, there were 11 shutdowns, and they range from 1 day to 17 days. Between 95 and 96, under Clinton, there were shutdowns. They lasted 5 days and then 21 days. Obama had a shutdown that lasted 17 days. In 2018, Trump's first term, there were three. In 2018, there were 2 shutdowns. One lasted 3 days, another lasted a couple hours. And then in 2019, there was the 35-day shutdown.
And that's the record. Trump holds the record for being president under the longest government shutdown.
All right.
And 3 in his first term.
Well, let's listen to some talking heads. You had John Thune. He was on with Kristen Welker on NBC News, and he's blaming the Democrats.
All right, let's talk about the big battle over government funding. We're just 2 days away, Leader, as you know, from a potential government shutdown. The president did cancel a planned meeting with Democratic leaders. The House doesn't plan to be in session until after the shutdown deadline. Is the government going to shut down this week, Leader Thune?
Totally up to the Democrats. The ball is in their court. There is a bill sitting at the desk in the Senate right now. We could pick it up today and pass it. That has been passed by the House, that will be signed into law by the president to keep the government open. So this decision, in my judgment, at this point in time, is up to a handful of Democrats. We need 8 Democrats to pass it through the Senate, something that 13 times, when the Democrats had the majority over the last 4 years and President Biden was in the White House, Republicans helped Democrats do. 13 different times we did continuing resolutions in the Democrat majority, and in every case they passed. And what the Democrats have done here is take the federal government as a hostage, and for that matter, by extension, the American people, to try and get a whole laundry list of things that they want, that special interest groups on the far left are pushing them to accomplish, and using a 7-week funding resolution, which is designed to give us time to do the normal appropriations process. They're using this hostage to try and get all these other things done. It's a very straightforward argument in my mind. It's simple.
Okay, so he pointed out that there's already that House-passed CR, continuing resolution, at the Senate desk that could be taken up and passed immediately. Well, let's talk about that continuing resolution. Here's the Speaker, Mike Johnson. He's saying it's clean.
Well, I had a long talk with the President yesterday, Jake, and, he feels the same way that I do about this. He's always open to discussion, but he wants to operate in good faith. So he decided to bring us all in. He wants to talk with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and just try to convince them to follow common sense and do what's right by the American people. Jake, it's important to point out the only thing we are trying to do is buy a little time. You know, the appropriators in both parties have been working very diligently over the last many weeks to work through the appropriations process. As you know, the law requires us to pass 12 separate appropriations bills and to be good stewards of American taxpayers' dollars. But that hasn't happened. It usually doesn't happen in Washington. Everything gets pushed to the end of the year right before Christmas, and there's a giant omnibus spending bill. Since I became Speaker, I've been trying to force back the muscle memory to force Congress to do its work, and we're doing it. Jake, I'm delighted to tell you, in a bipartisan fashion, the appropriators have worked through 12 separate appropriations bills in the House committee. 3 are passed off the floor in the House. 3 passed off the Senate floor. Those bills don't match up exactly, so there's a conference committee between 2 chambers working as they're supposed to for the first time since 2019. But here's the problem. We run out of clock, because the end of this September 30th is the end of the fiscal year. So what we did was a simple, clean, continuing resolution. It's 24 pages in length. All it does is keep the government open so appropriators can continue to do this work. Together, bipartisan, Chuck Schumer came back with a long laundry list of partisan demands that don't fit into this process, and he's going to try to shut the government down. The president wants to talk with him about that and say, please, don't do that.
So continuing resolutions, they seem to be Washington's favorite Band-Aid. It's always temporary, and what it does, it just kicks the can down the road for later.
Nobody loves to kick the can down the road more than politicians. So, yeah, they love continuing resolutions. Mike Johnson laid it out pretty cleanly there. Look, this is why the House is on recess this week, because they've already passed their clean resolution. So all the Senate has to do is pick it up. But the Senate never wants to do exactly what the House does. And, of course, Trump wants a government shutdown so he can fire government employees. The Democrats want a government shutdown so that they can prove that they're sticking up and fighting back to Trump. This is why I just don't see any scenario that keeps the government running. There's going to be a shutdown tomorrow.
Classic partisan theater, in my opinion. But in this case, it sounds like the Republicans are winning the argument, at least on your Sunday morning talk shows. Last audio clip for you. Here's J.D. Vance.
This government shutdown issue looming next week. How do you see this? And are you opposed to a shutdown, or do you think there would be advantages to that potentially?
Well, look, we don't want to shut down the government, Martha, but it's really up to the Democrats. Under our system, you need 60 Senate Democrats to vote for the clean continuing resolution that the president and House Republicans have put forward. I think it's preposterous, Martha, and I think the American people really should pay attention to the fact that Democrats are threatening to shut down the entire government because they want to give hundreds of billions of dollars of health care benefits to illegal aliens. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a political party actually advertising the fact that they want to shut down every essential function of government, and they want to use that as leverage so that they get more money for illegal alien health care benefits. It's such a stark contrast between Republicans who are trying to put the interests of the American people first and Democrats who I think would want to take money from the American people to give benefits to illegal aliens. We don't want to shut down the government, but if Democrats refuse to just pass this clean continuing resolution, that's exactly what's going to happen, and I think the Democrats are going to bear the responsibility for it.
I believe that that's the winning talking point for the Republicans, the health care for the illegal immigrants. But approximately 14% of the federal budget is non-defense discretionary spending. So we're talking between 675,000 employees would be furloughed. And you know what J.D. Vance said, essential areas of the government. There are essential workers and military personnel that will continue on being employed.
Yeah, you'll get your Social Security check. Medicare will still continue to function and operate. We saw this under all the government shutdowns in the last 10 or 20 years. You know, what makes the most headlines is usually the national parks close, and that usually makes big headlines. But everything is going to be fine. Here is what is going to happen. It will shut down. It'll probably be pretty quick, and the Dems will likely cave, and everybody gets what they want. Trump gets to continue on with the continuing clean, a clean continuing resolution. The Democrats shut it down for a few days, and that way they can go back to their base and say, look at us, we fought Trump, and we, played hard and tough, and we're not going to take this lying down. But they really have a terrible argument on this, and so they're not going to let it last very long.
This is the Kendall Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
The accused Charlie Kirk assassin,
93 WIPC,
will appear in court via video today.
The execution of convicted killer will go on.
When news breaks,
hundreds of people gathered here.
Appears to be yet another targeted attack.
We'll be here.
Rammed his pickup truck through the front door.
The attacker was killed by police in a shootout.
Trying to make sense of it all.
So that all of their local departments have an extra set of hands.
Left-wing terrorism is at a 30-year high.
On air, online, and on Alexa.
We still have plenty of days left to enjoy our backyard spaces. It's Terry Stacy, and thanks to Premier Deck Coating, our deck is protected from the harsh environment fall and winter bring. Harsh because our deck is surrounded by black walnut trees, so nuts have always stained our deck. We just don't have that problem anymore because of Premier Deck Coating. Our 25-year-old deck looks brand new, and it's not. Locally owned Premier Deck Coating is the ultimate deck protection. Their special formulated product repels mold and moisture, scratch resistant, all backed by a 10-year guarantee. Premier Deck Coating takes care of sanding the wood. They repair the damaged boards in preparation before they apply the special formulated coating. They can also do the same for pergolas and fences. You truly will be thrilled with the results. No more painting year after year, easy to take care of, and that saves time and money. Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. There's still time to get you on the schedule before the year ends. For a free quote, visit premierdeckcoating.com.
Fall is in full swing at Wilson Farm Market. Bright mums, pumpkins, and gourds are waiting to bring color to your porch and table. Enjoy a fresh apple cider slush or Wilson's famous peach cider slush. The taste of fall in every sip. Inside, the ovens are busy with breads, pies, and treats you'll smell the moment you walk in. Hungry yet? Grab some crispy fried chicken or stop by the deli, salad bar, and cheese counter for easy meals to take home. Wilson Farm Market, right off US 31, just north of Westfield. Your fall favorites all in one stop.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
At Price Point Comfort, we promise you'll never be sold something you don't need. Call us at 317-455-1124 or see us at PricePointComfort.com.
Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air dealer.
Let's talk about what happened over the weekend at the Ryder Cup. Team Europe defeated Team USA with a 15-3 victory, retaining the Ryder Cup. There it is. Despite the strong U.S. rally on Sunday, Europeans held on. They won.
We had a great weekend. I know you don't want me to say this, but it's the truth, so I'm going to speak the truth. Rob Kendall is the #1 golf handicapper for sports gambling in the United States right now.
What?
He crushes it. I mean, I've been gambling for a long time. I'm not new to this game. I've been gambling since I was a kid, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It was just it was part of our family. It was part of growing up, and now that we can gamble on our phones,
yeah,
it's not serious. It's all just for fun.
Sure.
But I've always bet Rob's golf bets and made a lot of money on Rob's golf bets. And so when he posted last week that, hey, Europe plus 170, that's the one to take, send it to the bank. I bet it heavy. We talked about this on Friday.
You bet it heavy.
I did bet it heavy. And so Rob and I were texting all weekend long as this was going on. And Europe came out very strong on Thursday, on Friday and Saturday. They were up like 11.5 to 3.5. They were just crushing the United States. And I'm not going to get into how they score the Ryder Cup. It would take an entire show to explain that, and you still wouldn't understand. But and then all of a sudden the Americans. So when it was at its worst, it was 11.5 to 3.5. Rob sends me a text. He goes, "Hey, on DraftKings, you can get the United States at 90-1 odds right now.
Right.
Which he's telling me, saying, hey, hedge that Europe bet that you bet so heavy. So I threw a couple bucks on the U.S. at 90-1. So I was guaranteed to win either way. And then the United States staged this incredible comeback on Sunday and almost end up pulling off what would be one of the greatest upsets in all of sports history. They fall short. Rob's original bet was good. He and I win all sorts of money. Great weekend. Great weekend. Great Ryder Cup.
So Europe has now won 11 of the past 15 Ryder Cups and 5 of the last 10 in the U.S. This was Europe's first U.S.-based Ryder Cup win since 2012. What did you think about the chance? Let's listen to one of the ridiculous U.S. Ryder Cup fans trying to get the crowd pumped up.
Okay. Slow down. You guys all took Adderall this morning. Slow down. Here we go. 1, 2, clap. 1, 2, clap. Here come the lyrics. Scotty, Sheffield.
Yeah, the whole crowd boos.
Worst hype man ever.
That was ridiculous.
So the Ryder Cup does have a history of being a little bit rowdy. Now, nowhere near, the Waste Management Open in Phoenix, which is kind of like peak crazy golf. Look, the problem is the golf has a problem, a big problem right now, and the fact that Tiger Woods ain't ever coming back, and so the salad days of golf and everybody tuning in for Tiger, long gone. So the great ratings that golf had for years are long gone. More than half of the great players in the world have shifted over to live golf. And so golf has got this problem, and so they're trying all these different things to kind of jazz up the crowds and get people into it and make it interesting. That was a massive fail on the hype man's part there.
Okay, but things got a little heated at one point with Rory McIlroy. The fans were yelling at him, and he just turned right around and hit a perfect shot.
And gave it right back to him, too. Yeah, so there was a lot of stories, and there was a lot of cat calls from the audience in golf. A lot of people thought it was inappropriate. Look, this is not the Masters. This is not, high level decorum as far as golf goes. It's the Ryder Cup. It's usually a little bit rowdy. It was a little bit more rowdy than normal. There was a video that was shown of Rory McIlroy's wife getting hit from a beer can. If you look at some other videos, it turns out, that may have been more of an accident. Looks like somebody threw their arms up and knocked the beer out of somebody's hand, and it just happened to go her way. But there was a lot of talk about the rowdiness at the Ryder Cup. But hey, the important thing is Rob's bet cashed. You're up plus 170.
You just
Great
had to
weekend.
be on the right side of that one.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was there. Him and his granddaughter Kai Trump, they showed up, got lots of applause. And then at one point, people were saying, no, Trump needs to start mean tweeting so that,
Against the Europeans?
Yeah, so that America starts doing better.
Starts doing better? Well, it didn't happen. It didn't work. And the valiant comeback that the U.S. tried to mount on Sunday afternoon fell just a little bit short. But it made it interesting. It made Sunday really interesting because at the end of the day, Saturday, it was like a blowout. It's like being up, 28-3 at halftime in the Super Bowl. And the Americans tried really hard. Came really close. Didn't get it. Rob and I won our bets.
That's
Everything
all that
is
matters.
good. That's really all that matters.
That's all
Yes,
that matters.
Exactly.
Speaking of Kai Trump, I don't know if you noticed, but she is now selling a collection, some merch, right? She said, this collection is something I've dreamed about for a long time, and I'm so grateful it's finally here.
Dreamed about for a long time? She's like 18.
Yeah, 18 or 19.
I've dreamed about it since I was 17.
But it's got her initials on it. It kind of looks like something that maybe Tony Katz could have because it says, TK.
TK. Oh, yeah. Does her logo look similar to the Tony's?
Or in her case, KT.
KT.
Right. But she's posting pictures of herself at the White House selling this merchandise. So how do we feel about that? Her using the White House as a backdrop to promote her brand.
Well, I mean, she's technically not selling it at the White House.
Correct.
It's not like you can pull up to the White House and buy Kai Trump merch. Look, All these politicians do it. Is it a good look? No, not a great look. Is Nancy Pelosi and her alleged insider trading getting her tens of millions of dollars a good thing? No, that's a bad thing either. These are politicians. They're in it for themselves. They're going to leverage whatever they've got to make themselves as much money as possible. Is it good? No. Is it different than what's been happening for 250 years in this country? Also no.
Yeah, she's just using, what her grandfather has taught her. Use the White House.
Make a couple of bucks. To make a couple of bucks
to promote
here
your
and there.
merch. Yeah, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
Retirement isn't just about reaching the finish line. It's about knowing how to play the next movement. Without a plan, your savings can feel like noise instead of music. I'm Jason Hutchins with Guardian Wells Financial. I've seen too many families head into retirement without the guidance they need. That's why I wrote Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. I'd like to mail you a copy at no cost. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929. Inside this book, you'll find real-world strategies on turning savings into income, making smarter Social Security decisions, and reducing a bite of taxes in retirement. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929 for your book today. Don't wait. Supplies are limited, and when they're gone, they are gone. Orchestrate your retirement. Discover the rhythm of a confident future.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wealth Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Call 317-660-0929.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
In light of recent events, there has been a call on the next generation to stand up and be bold. Life Church's 4th annual Truth Conference is designed to equip them by answering life's toughest questions about God, about faith, about life, about truth. On October 4th and 5th, we are inviting students 6th to 12th grade across Indy to unite in truth. To register and more, visit the events page at lifechurchin.com. It's more than a weekend, it's a turning point.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, you'll talk with an oncologist within 48 hours of your diagnosis, so you won't have to wait to start finding answers.
They got me in pretty quickly to meet my team. They gave me the plan and what they knew and what they wanted to do. I was really impressed with the care team and the approach they took.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The FBI is now leading the investigation in the Michigan church shooting. Mostly sunny and 66 degrees in downtown Indy. Today's high 72. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:30. It's now up to 5 people dead in Sunday's shooting at a Mormon church in Michigan. Joel Fike is a member of the Grand Block Township Board of Trustees.
This happened right next to my condo. My neighbors heard the gunfire. They heard the screaming, the windows. They saw the truck. It's horrific.
The FBI says the shooter drove his vehicle into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, opened fire with an assault rifle, and set the church on fire. The shooter is now dead, and 8 others were injured. Lawmakers have just under 48 hours to fund the government, or it will shut down.
They have until midnight Tuesday. President Trump will meet with top congressional leaders from both parties at the White House to try and reach a compromise. Right now, the biggest sticking points are over spending and health care. If there's a shutdown, federal workers won't get paid and many services will pause. The White House is also threatening mass firings.
That's Fox's Marianne Rafferty. Democrats say they won't support a continuing resolution that cuts funding to health care. And it's National Coffee Day. A recent National Coffee Association survey found 2/3 of American adults drink coffee every day. Nutrition experts say coffee does contain antioxidants and other active substances that help reduce internal inflammation and offer protection against some diseases. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. So far, the Dow is up 179 points to 46,735. The S&P 500 is up 34 points to 6730. And the NASDAQ is up 161 points to 24,887. I'm Sean Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
My brother never checks on dad. Or, my sister won't make time to take mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Hey, it's autumn now, and that means pleasant temperatures, leaves turning colors, pumpkins and cider, and more outdoor fun, plus school's fall break vacation time. We're going to be headed out to Colorado. So if you're thinking about taking a road trip to see the leaves at their best and brightest, or a fly away for one last bit of beach or poolside fun in the sun, talk to my friends at AAA Motor Club. Hey, members get free travel planning help, plus discounts on hotels, cruises, rental cars, and much more. A AAA travel agent will make sure you get the best price on your fall vacation.
And if you run into trouble anywhere out on the road this fall, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas, lock your keys in the car. AAA is there 24/7, 365, no matter where your travels take you. So, if you're not a member now, before you travel this fall, do yourself a favor and join AAA. Visit AAA.com, call 844-GO-AAA-GO, or stop by your local AAA office. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Well, it was kind of cold that night. She started all about.
Another big week for Donald Trump. He plans to meet with Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer today to talk about the looming government shutdown. Also, a big week for the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. He's got that big meeting with all the generals tomorrow. Donald Trump saying that he will attend that high-level military meeting Tuesday. It's going to be at Quantico, the Marine Corps base in Virginia, roughly 30 minutes south of Washington, D.C. People that are expected to attend this include senior admirals and generals, their aides and security, and potentially thousands of military personnel. Of course, the meeting's purpose was not disclosed in advance to the top brass, and a lot of people are questioning what's going on with this. What's happening?
I keep picturing, remember when Steve Jobs used to do his annual Apple reveal, and he would be in this auditorium on stage with this big screen behind him, and he would come out and say, I introduce the new iPhone 7 with 16 hours of battery life. I picture Donald Trump or Hegseth doing that, standing on stage in front of the audience going, the new M1 Abrams tank featured now with iTunes standard on all tanks that we have. It's something like that, like some sort of product reveal. Because come on, if this was something really, really big and really, really important,
we wouldn't know about it.
They either wouldn't have said anything at all, or they would have called all the generals here and said what exactly this is going to be. The fact that they are keeping this shrouded in mystery leads me to believe that this is not going to be that big of a deal.
Just a big nothing burger.
Yeah.
So Trump described the meeting as focused on military success, esprit de corps, and positive messaging. He said it's just a good message, talking about being in great shape, and Hegseth allegedly wants to highlight military accomplishments and discuss the future of the Department of Defense under his leadership. Of course, he's rebranding it from Department of Defense to Department of War. This, though, amid all the staffing cuts that may happen with the government shutdown, Trump has said, yeah, you know what, we want to get rid of some of these people permanently. So here's the question. People are, now Trump's going. Yeah, the commander-in-chief is commanding.
Yeah, there's no way that he's going to let
We
this
should be
meeting...
happy about that.
Right. There's no way he's going to let this meeting go without him being there. He loves to be the center of attention. It's all about Trump. I get it. And if you're going to have all the generals from the United States around the whole world coming into D.C., yeah, Trump's going to be there. And guess what? Trump's going to speak, too, because he loves a microphone, loves the sound of his own voice, and he's going to get an opportunity to do this. And he should, just like you said. He's the commander-in-chief. These are all of his generals. What a great opportunity to speak to them.
He should be there.
Of course he
should be there commanding. Now, some people are saying one of the reasons that they're calling all of these generals in and not doing it over, the phone or teleconference is because possibly communications have been compromised. And if you're going to tell somebody something secretive, you're not going to put it in a text, are you? You're going to wait and tell them in person. I don't know.
What was the chat app? Was it Signal, the chat app that got Hegseth in trouble earlier in the year? I can see that. But again,
he doesn't want to make that mistake again.
Trump and Hegseth knew that if they did this, made it public that they were calling all these generals to Quantico, but not giving any details, that everyone in the world would start speculating about it. This is what they wanted. They wanted everybody to speculate about what this is about.
So Trump praised Hegseth. He said, let him be friendly with the generals and admirals. Isn't it nice that people are coming from all over the world to be with us?
Just a nice friendly get-together.
Isn't it nice that they're coming from all over the world to be with it? You ordered them to.
It's nice.
It's so nice.
It's nice.
They did not have a choice.
It's mandatory fun. It's going to be fun.
It is.
And you must be here. It's like the after-work party that you don't want to go to, but you feel like you got to because the boss says you got to be there. You're like, all right, fine, I'll come along.
So you make a minimal appearance?
Mandatory fun. They all sit there with their little cocktails in their hand while the boss is talking, and then as soon as the boss leaves the stage, they're like, we got to get out of here. Let's go.
Don't think they'll have cocktails there at Quantico, though. That's going to be a little different. Okay, so big week for them. Also a big week for our governor, Mike Braun. So we've got redistricting talk. Still on the agenda. And you've also got word that he's going to release the audit from the IEDC this week as well. Now, Governor Mike Braun, he warned Indiana could face some federal consequences if it doesn't add 2 new GOP-leaning congressional districts, and that they are reportedly under some pressure from the Trump administration about doing the redistricting. So far, really haven't heard much about this other than Governor Braun saying, well, I'm going to let the legislators decide if we're doing this or not.
That's the way Braun likes to do it. Well, it's really not my place. I'll let the legislators decide on this. Look, this does put Braun in a difficult position. So I dug into this a little bit over the weekend. Indiana receives $20 billion in federal funding every single year. So can you imagine if some of that gets cut off? Now, most of that is for health like Medicaid and that sort of stuff, but also roads and bridges and education. The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced that they're going to be making Indianapolis one of their main hubs, which will be great for our farmers and bring jobs to the area. And look, this is the way Trump does business. Hey, I want you to do something. You don't want to do something? I'm going to exert leverage on you to do what I want to do. So it does put Braun in a difficult position.
Now, in Missouri, they did this, and Governor Mike Kehoe, he signed Missouri's new congressional map into law, and that will likely give Republicans 7 out of the state's 8 House seats for the 26 midterm elections.
But I also see Rob's perspective on this, too, and Rob's been very against this, and he makes a great point. What great. So we're going to redistrict this so all 9 House seats go Republicans. What does that do for us? That means we get 2 more Jeff Shreves in office, 2 more people like professional office hopper Aaron Houchin. I mean, these are just general milquetoast Republicans that aren't really going to do anything for people other than exactly what the Republican Party wants them to.
Okay, but you know what? They can do it. There's nothing.
That's the other part of this, too. So part of me is like, okay, so, if you look at the Indiana Constitution, there is some wiggle room in here from a legal standpoint. So
if you don't like it, change the Constitution. Write a law.
Exactly.
It says they can't do this.
It looks like that the General Assembly may be able to do this from a legal and constitutional perspective. So if you're against that, then vote people in there and write a law to keep from happening it in the future.
Okay, so there was this GOP strategist. His name is Alex DeGrassi, and he was speaking about this, and he mentioned Representative Andrew Ireland's name. Check this out.
Hey, here's the deal, Steve. let's just be blunt about it. Okay, we have the plan. I actually laid it out. The White House has laid it out. President Trump's allies have laid it out. People know what the strategy is, okay? We just have to, no happy talk, Steve. I mean, people are not moving hard enough, fast enough. We're not seeing what we need to see, full stop. The posse, we have to dig in here and dig deep, frankly, and get ready to really kind of push on this, Steve, because time is ticking. And, you know, the key thing about what you just put up that chart is, look, all that's done is Missouri +1, right? And then Texas, what we got out of there. And other than that, everything else is, you know, few conversations. Certainly the governor in Indiana, I think, wants to move forward. And I think we need to start naming names. That's what we're going to do. I know State Representative Ireland. I connected him with Cameron. He's in Indiana. He's ready to.
Hey, they're gonna do things that are political. Does that make it right? No. Do I agree with Andrew Ireland that we should be doing this because it's political? No. But at least he was upfront and honest about it. And again, this is what's been happening for 250 years in our country. Politicians gonna politician.
That's
exactly what they're doing with this redistricting. And so, to sit here and expect something different is shame on us. We should not expect something different from politicians. They're going to be political. If we have a problem with this, great, change the state constitution to make sure that it's locked in that you can't do this except for the normal 10-year window when you do the census.
Former Governor Eric Holcomb was out and about, and there's also a story that involves a really big octopus. Maybe. Doubt it. Probably not. Sounds legit. You decide. It's coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it Monday afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy, and Guy Relford joins us for Monday Gun Day. Don't miss it.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
Truck drivers, have you been searching for a more reliable driving job? Get the paychecks and predictability you need as a Schneider driver. Schneider's large selection of driving jobs means you can get the home time that suits your schedule. Choose from daily, weekly, monthly, or sometime in between. Plus, Schneider drivers have access to great benefits with a 401k match and a 24/7 support team. Get the keys to a better driving job. Search openings near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
36-month, 10,000-mile per year lease, 2,500 due at signing. No security deposit required. All offers subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details. Ends 9/30/25.
America respects our first responders and veterans, the brave whose business is taking action when calamity strikes. It's dangerous work, often surrounded by sirens, shouting, even gunfire, so hearing loss is probable. First responders can turn to Relay Indiana. If you have trouble hearing on the telephone, visit RelayIndiana.com for voice recognition technology phones that allow the hearing impaired to have normal phone conversations. And there's loaned equipment for those who qualify. Get clarity back on the phone. Visit RelayIndiana.com.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure. Dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hammer and Nigel are going live this week from Coach's Tavern this Friday, brought to you by the Finnish Long Drink. Swing by for awesome drink specials, grab some WIBC swag, and join the party all evening long.
You had the former governor and a former senator sharing a stage. So former Governor Eric Holcomb and former Senator Joe Donnelly, opposite sides of the political spectrum. They shared the stage.
Are they, though?
Well,
Are they?
Good one. I see what you did there.
You like that?
Yeah. They were at Marian University. They were discussing leadership, civility, faith, and public service. This was part of a Richard Lugar speaker series, and it was attended by students, political staff, and also civic leaders. Both of them emphasized that public service is rooted in staying connected to constituents. Okay, just quickly, let's talk about that. Governor Holcomb saying that he's connected to constituents. The guy who called you a human petri dish, the guy who shut down the state and put thousands of people out of work. He's the one who's saying that he is connected to his constituents. More than anything, he wants to be disconnected. He wants to have the velvet rope VIP stanchions dividing you from him.
The best part about being an elected official is that you can keep other people out. At least that's from Holcomb's perspective. He also coined the term, it wouldn't serve Hoosiers well.
This is true. He did. So Joe Donnelly said returning home to Indiana helped him clear his mind and reconnect with common sense while in Congress. He said when you're in Washington, your word is your bond. And, let's talk about Joe Donnelly for just a second.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Joe Donnelly was there because he's been pretty quiet for a while. I mean, he was the ambassador to the Holy See, which is essentially the Vatican. But now he's been coming out a couple times in the last year. I mean, there was that period where before last year's election, a couple people floated Donnelly potentially running against Mike Braun for governor. And look, I don't want to say Joe Donnelly and I are friends, but I know Joe Donnelly and met him on many, many occasions. When I ran radio stations up in South Bend, that's where Joe Donnelly is from. He would come to our studios and we'd have him and interview him on our news talk station there. And every time he was there, I'd be there and talk to him for a few minutes. And I've seen him at other events. Joe Donnelly, actually, the last Democrat I voted for. How about that? Joe Donnelly, the last Democrat I voted for. But look, this when you and Rob talk about this, you talk about this a lot, and I think it's really important. Democrats need real candidates. If we want the Republicans in Indiana to be better, we need Democrats to start running some real candidates. And Joe Donnelly, look, when they floated his idea about running for governor against Braun, I guarantee you that got some Republicans puckered up because Joe Donnelly is pro-life. He is pro-Second Amendment.
Yeah.
All of the crazy, loony, left liberal things that are being pushed on candidates today, Joe Donnelly is not. So the big question would become if Joe Donnelly wants to run for statewide office again in Indiana, whether that's senator again, doubt it, Republican governor again, maybe. That's the type of candidate that Democrats need to run in this state, and that's going to be good for everyone because he is a real challenger on the Democrat side, and that will make the Republicans better ultimately.
During the speech, they were talking about their mentors, and Holcomb cited Dan Coates and Mitch Daniels and Mike Pence as his mentors, and Donnelly mentioned Father Hesburgh from Notre Dame and also Joe Kernan.
Former mayor of South Bend and former governor of the state of Indiana, Joe Kernan. Yeah. There was a guy that just really kind of, I don't want to say accidentally rose to governor, but I mean, here he was, the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. He was mayor there for years. O'Bannon selects him to be his lieutenant governor, and then a couple of years later, O'Bannon passes away in office, and all of a sudden, Joe Kernan is the governor of Indiana.
Here's a story. I ran across this, and at first I saw this, and I was like, what in the world? And then I read the script on it, and I thought, okay, we have to talk about this. September 2025, Gulf of America, the largest octopus ever discovered. And tell me, this sounds real.
It's not. Let's give it. But I mean,
marine biologists announced the discovery of what is believed to be the largest octopus ever recorded, found deep within the Gulf of America. The specimen, measuring over 45 feet across, with tentacles spanning the length of a city bus, was documented by a joint research expedition led by the Gulf Marine Institute and international oceanographers. They even have a quote. Dr. Elena Vargas said, "This is a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The octopus exhibits features unlike any we've ever cataloged before." And they have a picture of it. And it's a really, really big octopus. 45 feet across, right? The size of a bus.
I wanted this story to be true so bad. I really wanted this story to be true so bad because in my mind, hey, we were getting world record size octopus when it was called the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
All of a sudden you turn it to the Gulf of America and we're getting 45-foot octopus. Let's go. USA, USA, USA.
But it's not. It's not true.
Totally phony.
It's totally phony, and the story has now been taken down. And boy, that's disappointing. But it does give us an opportunity to play this clip. And out of all of the 180 episodes of Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld has said that perhaps this was his favorite on account of how they got the biggest laugh at the very end and how difficult that is to achieve.
The great beast appeared before me. I tell you, he was 10 stories high if he was a foot. As if sensing my presence, he let out a great bellow. I said, "Easy, big fella." And then, as I watched him struggling, I realized that something was obstructing its breathing. From where I was standing, I could see directly into the eye of the great fish.
Mammal.
Whatever.
Hey, well, what did you do next?
Well, then, from out of nowhere, a huge tidal wave lifted me, tossed me like a cork, and I found myself right on top of him, face to face with the blowhole. I could barely see from the waves crashing down upon me, but I knew something was there. So I reached my hand in, felt around, and pulled out the obstruction.
That is a good laugh.
Not over. Hold on.
What is that, a title list?
All in one. That was also the episode where a lot of other things happened.
That's what's so great about Seinfeld. We all have these, we remember that as the marine biologist episode, but there were also some other things. That was also the Golden Boy episode, Jerry's favorite T-shirt, Golden Boy,
right?
Who's slowly dying every time he goes through
and
the wash.
And he has to replace it with Baby Blue.
With Baby Blue. It was also the episode where Elaine was editing the book for the Russian writer Yuri Testikov, and where she falsely claimed that Tolstoy's original name for War and Peace was War. What is it good for? She also had that organizer that was beeping, where Testikov threw it out of the cab and hit some woman in the head. I mean, that was what was always great about Seinfeld, is you remember one big plot and then you go back and watch it again. You're like, oh, I didn't know this was also the Golden Boy episode. I didn't know this was also the Yuri Testikov episode.
Lots of stuff going on. And, well, Jerry Seinfeld said that on all the episodes, that was his favorite. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
Might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. Get in and jump.
You probably have a dream retirement in mind, but do you know how to get there? The difference between dreaming and living your ideal retirement comes down to having the right plan. And that's where Howard Bailey Financial can help. At Howard Bailey Financial, we've created a free retirement toolkit to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Text DREAM to 888-262-1104 to download your free retirement toolkit that includes a retirement checklist, Social Security decisions guide, estate planning guide, and more. We want your dream retirement to be your reality. And it starts by texting DREAM to 888-262-1104. Let us help you take the next step toward the retirement of your dreams. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby says Mitsubishi mini splits are a great option for heating and cooling sunrooms, garages, basements, or that new home office.
The mini splits are great for places that we don't have a lot of room for duct work. We can hide them in the ceilings, integrate them into the walls, or even sometimes behind walls.
See what Kirby can do for you at KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, Indiana's Governor Mike Braun makes a decision on an execution. What an open house in Noblesville today is all about, plus how Indianapolis Colts fans are taking Sunday's loss. Those stories and much more headed your way after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 10 o'clock.
Did he leave a note? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The FBI is looking for Juan and anything else at the dead gunman's home in Michigan to explain why he attacked a church.
All they know right now is this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith.
That's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. The attacker drove into the church and opened fire.
Hundreds of people were in this church with their families attending Sunday morning services when the shooter opened fire. The police chief says that worshipers jumped on top of young children, protecting and shielding them as bullets flew everywhere.
Fox's Brooke Taylor in Grand Blanc outside the church, which that gunman also set fire to, burning it down.
4 victims died and 8 others are in the hospital. Police say that there are still people who are unaccounted for this morning. They are digging through the church debris to try to find more victims.
And the shooter was killed in a shootout with police. The suspect in Saturday night's shooting in Southport, North Carolina, is expected in court today. The gunman drove a boat up to a waterfront bar, started shooting, killing 3 people, wounding 5. Tyler Robinson will appear in court virtually in Utah via video, facing a murder charge in Charlie Kirk's assassination.
In today's hearing, Robinson and his newly appointed attorney, Catherine Nestor, will make a decision whether they want a preliminary hearing, where the judge will decide if there's enough evidence to take this case to trial. Prosecutors have already released some evidence, including what they say is Robinson's DNA on the trigger of a rifle believed to be the murder weapon and text messages.
Fox's Matt Finn outside the court in Provo, Utah. An hour from now, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will go to the White House, where Caroline Leavitt also tells Fox he and President Trump will discuss a ceasefire plan for Gaza.
Both sides have to give up a little bit and might leave the table a little bit unhappy, but that's ultimately how we are going to end this conflict.
The president also meets today with congressional leaders ahead of a funding deadline to prevent a government shutdown Wednesday. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Now the governor has made his decision. Sunny and 70 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. The man convicted of raping and killing 15-year-old Stacey Payne back in 2001 is set to be executed next month. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Roy Lee Ward will be executed on October 10th. Governor Mike Braun confirmed the decision on Monday, accepting the Indiana Parole Board's unanimous recommendation to proceed. The board held a clemency hearing last week, citing the brutality of the crime. Police say Lee Ward entered Payne's home under false pretenses right before he attacked her. His attorneys argued that he was remorseful. If his clemency had been granted, Robinson's sentence would have been reduced to life in prison. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
This week starts off unseasonably warm in Indiana.
We will cool down a little bit towards midweek. We're looking for those highs to only be into the low to mid 80s.
Earl Breon with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there's no chance for rain for at least the next 7 days. An open house being held today for a project that aims to level up downtown Noblesville's infrastructure and pedestrian safety. The public will be able to learn more about the Embrace Downtown project at City Hall tonight. The event's happening from 5:30 to 7. The Indianapolis Colts suffered their first loss of the season Sunday to the Los Angeles Rams, 27-20. These fans reacted to it on the Ascension St. Vincent radio network.
We're 3-1 at this point in the season, and there's not a fan out here that would say otherwise. It's the start we're looking for.
I just shot ourselves in the foot by not running the football earlier in the game.
The Colts face the Las Vegas Raiders this upcoming Sunday. The Indiana Fever kept their season alive on Sunday by beating the Las Vegas Aces 90-83 in the WNBA semifinals. The series is tied at 2. Game 5 is tomorrow night in Las Vegas at 9:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Football is back, and so are great hairlines. We Grow Hair Indy has helped former local professional football players get back in the game with full natural hair. You don't have to play pro ball to get pro-level results. Hey, it's Rob, and I knew I picked the right team when I needed a Hail Mary for my hair. I called We Grow Hair Indy. Whether you're tailgating, coaching, or watching from the couch, do it with confidence. Trade the sidelines for a hairline. Get back in the game at We Grow Hair Indy. Schedule your free evaluation today at WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. Enjoy being out and about this fall. Enjoy watching the games in person with your friends with confidence you haven't had in years. And you can do it with a trip to We Grow Hair Indy. 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
We refer to the Indiana Capital Chronicle a lot for their excellent reporting that they do. They're a source for the Kendall and Casey show many times. But there was a commentary, an opinion piece that came out from Nikki Kelly, and I think it's worth a discussion because she has a lot of points in there that she brought to light. It is the Kendall and Casey show. My name is Casey. Rob is out today, but Jim is in the studio with me today. Thanks for coming in. Hey, thanks for coming in. So the title of the article or the opinion piece is State Employees Bear Brunt of State Spending Cuts. And in it, she says that Indiana agencies are implementing 10% budget cuts, heavily impacting state employees, which often make up 90% or more of agency budgets. And isn't that the truth, that the highest cost in most any company, government or not, is the people?
Yeah, and so, look, I hate it when anybody loses their job. I don't wish that upon anybody. It's very, very difficult to manage that. But if we're looking to reduce government spending, and again, like you said, most businesses, if you look at most businesses, the vast majority of their number one expense or pretty close to their number one expense is payroll. And Nikki spells it out in this article. Same thing with government, too. I mean, upwards of 90% of the entire budget for some of these agencies are payroll. If you want to cut expense out of government, there's really no way to avoid cutting employees. I mean, again, let's look at what happened with Doge and Trump when he came into office. One of the first things they went after were employees, because that's the majority of the expense. So it's not really a big surprise, and we shouldn't be shocked that when Braun comes into office and says, look, we've got to cut government spending, that employee cuts are going to be part of that process.
But one of the things that she's pointing out is that the remaining employees are taking on the increased workload and performing their own duties and then those of their former coworkers. She said some of the positions that are deemed critical can only be filled after 30 days of vacancy, which delays hiring to 60 or 90 days, and it just puts it off. So the state employee numbers dropped from 32,218 in December to 30,616 as of last week. That was a 5% decrease under Governor Mike Braun. But she said, hey, the employee morale with the state employees and the agencies is not the greatest, because resentment is definitely growing for the remaining people that are there that still have to do the job that they're assigned to, but also pick up the slack of the former employees.
You know who's had to deal with this for the last 20 or 30 years?
Who?
Everybody that works in the private sector. This has been going on in corporate America and the private sector for 30 or 40 years. Yeah, does it stink? Yeah. Do we need to reduce spending? Oh, yeah. We need to reduce spending. And yes, okay. This has been happening in the private sector. It should be no surprise that it's going to happen in government. That, yeah, when you reduce the number of employees, that means there's going to be more work that go to the employees that are left. And yes, I get it. That stinks for you. It stinks for all of us that have ever had a job at any point in time ever in our lives.
Ever.
I wish I didn't have to go to work every day. I wish I didn't have to have a job and that just money would rain from the sky and I could pluck it off of trees. But that's not the case. There's a reason why they have to bribe you with a paycheck to go into your job every day.
Right, I gave you money and said thank you. What more do you want from me?
Nobody would go into work if they didn't pay you. So I get it. It's tough when people lose jobs. It's tough for the remaining employees that have to pick up the workload. This is just a fact of modern day life. And if we want to reduce our government spending, it's going to mean cutting federal and state employees.
She said some other cost-saving measures include canceling contracts, delaying vehicle replacement, and also seeking legal changes to reduce operational costs.
So she brings up a good point there. So this isn't the only place that the state is looking to cut. It's not like we're only cutting employees, state employees. No, they're looking at other things, waste, fraud, and abuse, contracts and cars and all sorts of other things that are going on out there. Employees are bearing part of the brunt of all of that.
And speaking of your government getting smaller, the White House issued a memo warning agencies to prepare for mass layoffs and firings if a shutdown begins on Wednesday. The memo was shared by the Trump administration and suggests a RIF. And notices are going to be sent to employees tied to programs not aligned with the president's priorities. Employees could receive RIF notices in addition to furloughs. So typically, government shutdown, put on furlough, and then as soon as you come back, you get paid back all of the money. They're saying, no, this one could be permanent.
And this is why the Dems have absolutely, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer have absolutely zero leverage over Donald Trump on this shutdown. Trump wants the government to shut down. He tried cutting thousands of federal employees under the Doge program right after he came into office. Federal courts blocked a lot of that. He still wants to reduce the headcount and the number of federal employees we have and cut government spending. So the Dems have absolutely no leverage on this whatsoever. We're about, let's see, it would be midnight Tuesday night is effective when the government, so we're just about a little over 36 hours away from that. I fully expect the federal government to shut down, and it'll probably last, I don't know, a few days, maybe a week. And then Schumer and Jeffries will have to cave, but then they can go back to their base and say, look, we fought the good fight against Trump and wouldn't let him bully us. Well, we agreed to what he wanted at the end of the day, but it gives them a good story to tell their base.
Chuck Schumer called the memo intimidation and said Trump is firing federal workers to scare, not to govern.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But regardless of why he's wanting to do it, he's always wanted to do this since he came into office in inauguration in January. He's wanted to reduce the size and the number of employees that the federal government has. The courts blocked him when he tried to do it. Now he may be able to get his wish as he, tries to shut the government down.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams, he announced on Sunday that he is suspending his campaign for re-election.
And yet, despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign. I hope that over time, New Yorkers will see this city thrive under our leadership, and that policies we put in place should be continued and expanded. I hope you will see that despite the headlines and innuendo, I always put you before me, always.
He cited constant media speculation and the Campaign Finance Board withholding millions in public funds as reasons. He acknowledged that he can no longer raise the funds needed for a serious campaign. So his exit that possibly boosts former Governor Andrew Cuomo's run. He's running as an independent. Also, Democrat nominee Zohran Mamdani.
Look,
Democrat nominee, socialist nominee.
Socialist politician running under the Democrat Party. Look, Zohran Mamdani is going to be the next mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Regardless of more people come into the race, regardless of more people like Eric Adams leave the race, Mamdani has a 20-point lead across many, many polls. We're, about 5-6 weeks away from the election. Mamdani is going to be the mayor of New York. And in some ways, I'm okay with that. If that's what New Yorkers want, if they want a socialist running their government and as their mayor, then have at it. And they get to live with all of the consequences that come along with it.
And you'll see a lot of people leaving New York.
Continuing to leave New York.
and you won't be visiting there anytime soon.
And it's interesting. The ones that leave New York tend to be the ones that can afford to leave New York and move to Texas and move to Florida. And those are the ones that are generally paying huge amount of taxes if they were to stay in New York. So the people that New York is losing are the ones that are...
They actually want to stay.
They're the ones giving up most of their income in taxes to New York City and New York State. So I mean, I get why Eric Adams is leaving the race. I don't think it really matters at all. Zohran Mamdani will be the next mayor of New York.
President Trump announced that he's directing Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth to send troops to Portland, Oregon. Troops are to protect ICE facilities. Trump added he's authorizing full force if necessary. No specifics were provided, but this has people in Portland losing their minds.
Yeah, and you said something that I think is not being talked about a lot, but it's a really important difference in all of this. So when Trump put the National Guard in Washington, D.C., because D.C. isn't a state and Trump has a lot of control over the city of D.C., those National Guardsmen were walking the streets of D.C. They were downtown. They were by the monuments. They were everywhere. This deployment of National Guard to Portland is strictly for them to protect federal buildings like ICE facilities. It's very similar than when the Guard was deployed during the riots, deployed all over the country during the riots of 2020. They were deployed to protect federal property. That's exactly what's happening here in Portland. So you're not going to see the National Guard in downtown Portland and roaming the streets and having a show of force to reduce crime. It is really there just to protect those federal facilities.
Trump repeatedly called Portland anarchy and war ravaged. No details were available on the scope, size, or type of force that they were going to do. National Guard versus active duty. National Guard, I mean, there are certain rules that these guys have to follow and what they're allowed to do.
Yeah, and look, if you saw anything, and wow, Twitter was full of video from Chicago and the protests that are happening at the ICE facilities there. And what's been happening in Chicago ends up, transferring over to Portland, it's a good thing we're sending those National Guard troops there, because the protests at the ICE facilities in Chicago and all the video we saw over the weekend, those were getting out of control and really, really quick.
Trump has mentioned similar actions for other cities like Baltimore and also New Orleans. I saw this clip from Elon Musk. Well, it's not actually from Elon Musk. It's from @America on X, which was the America Party.
Oh, that thing?
Yeah, you remember that?
Remember that? That was like for about a week there. Elon was going to start his own political party called the America Party.
There's a Twitter account, so it must be legit,
okay,
right?
Right, exactly. Right.
But they posted this speech, and it's from Bill Clinton in 1995. It's during a State of a Union speech. Listen to this.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Go Bill Clinton!
What? Bill Clinton, Democrat, 1995, State of the Union speech. If he were to give that speech today, he would be called a fascist by the modern Democrat Party. That just shows you how far it has swung.
We talked about this earlier, and we were talking about Joe Donnelly, and when he was the Democrat elected from the state of Indiana. Joe Donnelly is pro-life. Joe Donnelly is pro-Second Amendment. Joe Donnelly was anti-immigration. All of these things, and it shows that the Democrat people, the people who were lifelong Democrats, have pretty much stayed to their traditional values, while the Democrat Party has just shifted so dramatically far left. I mean, there's no way Bill Clinton gets elected to anything nationally with the Democrat Party today. Absolutely not. Joe Donnelly would have a hard time winning a Democrat primary in the state of Indiana.
They'd be considered Republicans today.
They would be, like you said, they would be called fascists. They'd be called all sorts of phobes and ists and everything else that they can think of, because that's how far the Democrat Party has moved left.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
Things we did as kids that would emotionally destroy the kids of today.
Dodgeball in gym class. I went to Tri-West. I was terrified back in the early 90s.
I was one of those guys that was throwing it as hard as I could at people.
Non-stop bullying was normal and tolerated, and teachers didn't give a crap about it. The advice was like, just try to ignore it.
Hammer and Nigel. Weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
So fired up for a Hammer and Nigel Road Show. Coach's Tavern, downtown, Friday, October 3rd. It's brought to you by the Finnish Long Drink.
The Finnish Long Drink is financially backed by golfer Ricky Fowler and actor Miles Teller. You guys are going to love this, and we're going to sample some of these at Coach's Tavern, downtown, Friday, October 3rd. It's kind of my birthday party with the Finnish Long Drink. We hope to see you there.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business. We mean business.
New look, same team. That's what they said. It is the Kendall and Casey show. My name is Casey. Rob has the day off, and Jim is in the studio with me today. So on Friday night, the Indianapolis Indians, they announced a new logo and uniform, but they emphasized still the same team. They said the redesign pays tribute to the team's early 1990s baseball roots.
So is this a permanent logo change, or is this because teams, especially minor league teams, will sometimes like throw in like a temporary one, or they'll have like a throwback uniform that'll be used occasionally, but this is the new regular everyday uniform and logo for the Indianapolis Indians.
Yep, the franchise has had multiple brand identities over their 124-year history. They've highlighted 12 different championship seasons, but they say that this team remains a cornerstone of the Circle City community since 1902, and I would assume that it's going to be permanent because listen to this. The rebranding process involved 3 years of research.
Wow.
Yeah, they took some time with this. They did over 125 hours of interviews to determine what the new logo and uniform should look like.
So I looked at all the merch, and it looks nice. It's great, whatever. My favorite piece by far is a baseball cap that they've got, and all it has on the front of the cap is just the letter I, but it's written in like a very Gothic style font. It reminded me of the Detroit Tigers, and their caps are that Gothic calligraphy style D. That was the coolest one. If there's anything that's on my radar for Indians merch, it is definitely that baseball cap with that Gothic eye on the top of it there.
Indians.
Yeah, put it on the list.
Baseball.
Christmas will be here.
How much was it? Do you remember?
I think it was like $25.
Okay.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah. They said in the interviews, they asked fans, community leaders, front office staff, board members, season ticket holders, and different executives. So a lot going on there with the Indianapolis Indians because they're redoing the whole stadium as well. They're changing out the seats and giving everything a nice refresh.
You are rolling the dice every time you change your logo, i.e. Cracker Barrel. And there's been many other disastrous logo rollouts.
Like Notre Dame.
Notre Dame rolling out the new Leprechaun logo, which happened the same week Cracker Barrel ran out their logo. I thought that was a joke the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, they're trolling Cracker Barrel. No, they got a new Fighting Irish guy.
Yeah.
But this one seems pretty safe. I don't think anybody's going to have a problem with this. And it's pretty cool. Yeah, nice little refresh for the Indians.
All right, there was the scariest story, and it was about DIY technique that men are using. Oh, no.
I would not have put this story in the template.
Oh, you're the one who brought it to my attention. What are you talking
that doesn't
about?
Sound, oh, that's right. I did. Just because it's so ridiculous. But it's like when you read that, I know what the story, I like winced a lot. I was like,
The DIY technique men are using to restore their manhood as circumcision rates in America fall to record lows.
Look, I've done some DIY medical. Well, hear me out here. Well, I mean, I've had to, after I had surgery, I had to give myself shots. To prevent blood clots. So after I got released from the hospital, I had to give myself shots in the stomach to prevent blood clots. So that's a little home DIY.
I wasn't going to do it.
You weren't doing it.
No.
I've taken out my own stitches before. And the doctor said I could do that. I was not doing anything that wasn't recommended by my medical professional. But this is something totally different. And if you're trying to DIY your circumcision reversal, this is going to be one that you're going to want to leave to a medical professional.
Yeah, I would not. No.
And look, I have the confidence of a grown man. You've seen those things on Twitter. Look, I have no doubt in my mind that if I had to land a 747 jumbo jet and had somebody talking me through the procedures,
you could do that?
I have all the confidence in the world I could land a 747 plane. Absolute. Full of passengers. No problem whatsoever. DIY circumcision removal? No. That's
the article says that today more parents are opting to leave sons intact, questioning whether it's necessary.
And this proves the other point, too, that if there are people out there that are trying to do DIY circumcision reversals, it would lead you to believe that there are also people out there that are just trying to do DIY circumcisions at home as well. Again,
This is just painful to talk about, isn't it?
I wince. I'm wincing this entire time. See a medical professional. I love doctors. They're real smart. They go to school for a long time. They're trying to take care of you. Go see a medical professional. Don't do this at home. Look, and I get we're stubborn. As men, we're stubborn. But you need to see a doctor on this one. I get how we don't want to go to the doctor. Yeah, that's not going to be me. Hey, I'm not going to the doctor. Honey, grab my toolbox.
No.
Let's get this taken care of right here in the
Are you
living
kidding
room.
me? I wouldn't even do the shots. I'm like, I'm not doing that. No way. So Zoo Boo is back at the Indianapolis Zoo. It runs until November 2nd. Fall festivities include trick-or-treating for the kids and adults. They've got the zoo animal exhibits, and it features the Pumpkin Town Gardens, an elephant mirror maze, adult trick-or-treat trail, Round Go Merry, different from the merry-go-round.
I see what they did there.
Yeah,
Nice.
and also the Zoo Boo Foodie Trail, free for zoo members and included with regular admission.
I'm gonna
much rather do that than do the haunted house.
I'm gonna admit something right now.
Yeah?
I've never been to the Indianapolis Zoo.
What?
Never been to the Indianapolis Zoo. You and our daughter went one time.
Yeah.
And I'm
right down the road.
Well, I'm just saying I must have been busy or had work or out of town that day when
And you know
you
what?
and our
I don't
daughter
think-
went.
I don't think Rob has ever taken his daughter to the zoo either. So maybe you and I could take their daughter for them. We'll make a memory.
That sounds great. We get to spend some time with Olivia for a little bit, take her to the zoo, and then give her back to her parents.
Right.
Those are my favorite kids.
We get OP kids,
Other people's kids.
Right.
I get to have the fun time, play time, rough house a little bit with some kids, and then once they get tired and crabby,
pass them off.
Back to the parents.
Right. It's like being a grandparent for a day.
Yeah, that would be. Oh, grandparents in training.
Right.
I love, and I'd get to go to the Indianapolis Zoo, which is something I've never done. I think I might have to text Rob right now. Lay that on him.
He'd be like, sure,
Yeah.
take her, do it,
Exactly.
go. More free time for me so he can watch his shows. It is the Kendall Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
It's the start of our favorite season here in Indy, football season. That's right, with all the hype and action this season brings, we know things can get loud and messy real quick. Before you invite your friends and family over to watch the games, you better call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to clean up all those fumble moments in your home. And lucky for you, you can score big this month with great savings. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and you can get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning too. The Zero Res service is easy to line up, and you can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. And don't forget the ZR water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC and you'll get 3 rooms cleaned by the Zero Res Pro starting at just $129. $129 plus $75 off duct cleaning too. 317-388-5141. Online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Of all the times to buy new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
36-month, 10,000-mile per year lease. 2,500 due at signing. No security deposit required. All offers subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details. Ends 9/30/25.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A government shutdown could happen. Mostly sunny and 73 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:31. President Trump is expected to meet with Republican and Democratic congressional leaders today with the deadline to avoid a government shutdown set for midnight Tuesday. A lot of the arguments have been over proposed funding cuts to health care. The president's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, says she's met with FBI Director Kash Patel to discuss the shooting at a Mormon church on Sunday in Michigan that left 5 people dead and at least 8 others wounded. Leavitt says they're trying to find out everything they can about the shooter.
All they know right now is this was an individual
who hated people of the Mormon faith. And they are trying to understand more about this, how premeditated it was, how much planning went into it, whether he left a note.
The FBI says they are executing multiple search warrants. The record for the highest attended ticketed concert in U.S. history now belongs to country music singer Zach Bryan. He performed at Michigan Stadium on Saturday in front of a crowd of 112,408 people. I'm Sean Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Pat Sullivan here. It's that time of year in Indiana when you don't know if you need your AC unit blasting or your furnace to start kicking. Better have both prepared with a $49 AC unit and furnace tune-up from Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Is it sweater weather or tank top weather? Nobody knows. But we do know that you can ensure total comfort inside your home for only $49. Call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, you'll find a team of experts on your side, all working closely to give you the guidance and support you need.
Everyone knew what every other doctor was doing. I didn't have to go to 3 different meetings. I didn't have to talk to them individually. You knew right there in the room. They came up with a plan together.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
My brother never checks on Dad, or my sister won't make time to take Mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
At Price Point Comfort, we're proud to serve our local community. We're not just your service provider, but we're your neighbors.
For heating and cooling help, go to PricePointComfort.com. Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air dealer.
It's got a nice beat. You could dance to it.
It sounds kind of tropical, too. It's
Yeah.
kind of got like almost like a Caribbean feel to it.
It is the Kendall Casey Show. My name is Casey. Rob is off today. That is Jim, who is filling in. And it was announced this morning that Bad Bunny is going to serve as the halftime show performer during the Super Bowl.
I can actually hear people listening to the radio right now saying to themselves,
Who is Bad Bunny?
Who is performing the Super Bowl halftime
Okay,
show?
so the game is going to take place at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, Sunday, February 8th. Last year, it was Kendrick Lamar. In the past, you've had Rihanna. You've had
Katy Perry, famous Left
Katy
Shark.
Perry. You've had Usher.
Madonna.
You had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. Okay, Bad Bunny. Kevin, can you play that song again? Like, do you have more of that song?
I believe. Oh, here we go.
So he put up an Instagram post, and he was sitting on a goalpost on a beach. There was a very colorful sunset in the background, and as the camera panned out, text came over the video teasing his halftime show performance. I know what you were thinking. I know what you were thinking.
Tell me what I was thinking.
You were thinking it was going to be Taylor Swift.
Well, no, I knew because the story had come out last week that they wanted Taylor Swift to be the performer, but she had some stipulations and the NFL wasn't going to agree to them.
Ooh, what were her stipulations? All green M&Ms?
Nope. She wanted to own the performance. She wanted to own the rights to the performance going forward. You know, Taylor Swift, she's very big about owning her music, had that big battle, finally was able to purchase.
Because her stuff was purchased.
Yeah, so she finally bought the masters and the rights back to all of her music she recorded when she was a young, baby singer. And she wanted to own the rights for her halftime performance, and the NFL said absolutely not. And she said, okay, fine. Fine. Enjoy Bad Bunny as your Super Bowl halftime show.
All right, Kevin, you're the musician expert here in the studio. What do you know about Bad Bunny? Can you tell us anything about Bad Bunny?
I think all I know is that he's Puerto Rican. He's obviously popular with the Latino community. I saw him perform on SNL a little while back. I think that's when I first heard about him.
Was it good? Did you enjoy it?
I mean, it's pretty catchy.
Okay.
Like you said, his music has a nice beat to it.
So obviously this is the NFL targeting a different demographic.
Well, here's everybody seems to complain about the halftime show every year, and I'm gonna give you a quick lesson. This is how television works. If you already watched the Super Bowl, this isn't for you. The NFL intentionally puts musical acts at the halftime show to attract people who aren't going to watch the Super Bowl.
Right,
and
they're
so
not in it for the game, so maybe they'll watch the halftime show.
Come in and watch the halftime show to boost their overall ratings, which is super important. Look, the Super Bowl's watched by, I think, the last couple of years, around 150 million people. The NFL has about topped out. Everybody that's gonna watch the Super Bowl pretty much already watches the Super Bowl. So for them to increase ratings, they need to bring in a halftime show that is appealing to people who don't normally watch the Super Bowl, which is why you see these acts. Football fans are always like, this halftime show stinks. Yeah, this halftime show ain't for you.
So Bad Bunny, he spoke about it on an X post, and he said he's been thinking about it for a few days, and after discussing it with his team, he thinks he'll just do this one date in the United States because he's got a world tour, and he is not touring in the United States due to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Yeah, he just finished up a big residency in Puerto Rico. He's refused to play shows in the continental U.S. as kind of a protest against, the ICE crackdowns. But it's funny how all of a sudden his moral high ground in protesting ICE raids and not playing a show in the United States.
That was put on hold when Super Bowl came calling?
Once the Super Bowl came calling, it was like, okay, fine, just this one show so that I can be the center of the world here for, 15 minutes during the halftime show.
It's like we always say, I agree with you 99% of the time, but on this one thing, my thing,
I am going to stand on my convictions until somebody brings a dump truck full of money and backs it up into my driveway.
And then all of a sudden.
And then I would have gotten new information and reconsidered my position. I think maybe I will play a show in the United States, and it'll just happen to be at Levi Stadium at halftime of the Super Bowl.
Because, I might be in front of an entirely new audience, and that's not such a bad thing for me.
Yeah, I still would have liked Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl.
Other people were saying, maybe Adele would be playing. I don't know. Bad Bunny was the choice. I wonder, will he be alone? Or will he have some appearances?
Almost always. I'm trying to think of the last Super Bowl performer that didn't have some guest performers come out there and help them out. It was probably, you'd probably have to go back to one of the classic rock bands like The Who or the Rolling Stones or Paul McCartney and when they did the Super Bowl. So yes, I'm sure that in the coming weeks we will see some featured performers that get added to the halftime.
They're going to be joining Bad Bunny.
We'll see who that is.
Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. Downtown Indianapolis now has over 30,000 residents, more than double from a decade ago. Let's talk about the growth of Indy. They say it's driven by young people. 43% of residents are Gen Z or Gen Alpha. The median age in downtown is 31 and a half, 2 years younger than peers in other cities like Columbus or Charlotte, North Carolina.
Look, this defies all logic. We are still, our crime levels in downtown Indianapolis are still way above pre-COVID levels. But I get the fact that almost half of them are Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And for those of you who don't know, Gen Alpha is the group younger generation behind Gen Z. So that would be like, 12 to 22-year-olds or something like that. But that traditionally, that's who want to live in downtown major metropolitan areas are young people. They like the activity. They like the hustle and bustle. You don't have kids, so you don't have to worry about school systems and, where you're going to send your kids to school yet. But still, that's a shocking rise, a 50% increase in Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis residents, a 50% increase in the last 10 years. Shocking.
Okay, now they did include, you and I were talking about this on the way in, that we say downtown stops after the White River. But technically it doesn't, but...
And so, yes, how you define downtown obviously makes a difference. And I looked at the definitions of this, and the most interesting one was they include downtown as going past the White River, past... the Indianapolis Zoo and farther down Washington and Michigan there. I don't know anybody that would reasonably look at downtown Indianapolis and say anything other than it's obvious downtown stops at the White River. It absolutely does.
13,000 apartment units are currently occupied, hundreds more under construction. And let's talk about this perception of safety and cleanliness from this group that are living in downtown. 57% of people said they feel safe downtown. That's up 1% from last year.
Yeah, I get that. It also means almost 50% don't think it's safe downtown too. So that's the other part of it is it's about a 50-50 issue.
53% say downtown appears clean and well kept. Apparently those people haven't been down on the Circle.
And again, about 50% feel that it's not clean and kept. It's too as well. So
63% said they feel emotionally connected to downtown.
And I get that. Hey, people are normally, if you've lived here your whole life, absolutely you're going to have an emotional connection to downtown, especially if nothing else. I think that's probably driven a lot by the sports teams. I mean, we're fortunate that we live in a city where our sports teams are in the heart of the city as opposed to out in the suburbs, something that Chicago Bears fans are going to have to deal with in the coming years as they move away from the lakefront now to Arlington Heights. But so that brings that, I mean, people really have an affinity for their sports teams. When those sports teams' facilities are downtown, it's going to transfer that affinity to the city.
So this report says that rent has stabilized around Indianapolis, around $1,470 a month. Apartment occupancy is around 90%. Speaking of those sports teams, one of them disappointed us this weekend. You want to talk about sports? Hammer's not going to be joining us today because he's got stuff to take care of.
Okay, well, we can do. We can take care of the whole sports talk.
With the normal theme when he's in at this time, it's a lot of sports talk. So we got to talk about the Colts.
Such a great sports weekend. We had the Colts. We had
others.
Indiana Fever. So many good sports stories.
That's coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, the latest on the shooting at the church in Michigan and the restaurant in North Carolina. What is happening? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
In light of recent events, there has been a call on the next generation to stand up and be bold. Life Church's 4th annual Truth Conference is designed to equip them by answering life's toughest questions about God, about faith, about life, about truth. On October 4th and 5th, we are inviting students 6th to 12th grade across Indy to unite in truth. To register and more, visit the events page at lifechurchin.com. It's more than a weekend, it's a turning point.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Who needs a Vegas trip to win big? McCordsville's got the jackpot right here. Financial Center, your newest credit union, is throwing a sidewalk series from September 30th through October 17th, every Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2. Play games, win prizes, and enter a giveaway for $1,000 cash. So skip the long flight and just join Financial Center on the sidewalk. Find out more and explore exclusive offers at fcfcu.com/McCordsville. Federally insured by NCUA. Giveaway terms and conditions apply.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Ultra, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Ultra helps Mike fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs, so he can wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
WIBC is teaming up with Shepherd Community Center and Gleaners to support Indy. Stop by 4107 East Washington Street this Friday from 3 to 5 for a food distribution event that's all about giving back. Full details at WIBC.com.
It was a huge sports weekend.
Huge.
We had an issue. We had a colossal issue at home. It is the Kendall Casey Show. My name is Casey. Rob is out today, but Jim is joining me. And wow, it couldn't have gone any worse at our house this weekend.
So I filled in for Rob on Friday. And on Friday, probably half the show, we talked about how great of a sports weekend it was going to be.
You were so
incredible.
excited.
We got the Ryder Cup, and we got college football on Friday night. We got Oregon and Penn State and a whiteout on Saturday. We got Alabama and Georgia on Saturday. We got a full slate of NFL games. We got the Indiana Fever playing in the playoffs. It's going to be an incredible sports weekend.
You were so excited.
And I wake up early Saturday morning, earlier than I normally do. I'm up early Saturday
get that
morning.
Cup of coffee.
Get it going.
Ready to go.
Go to turn
Go
on the
watch
TV.
College game day.
Our Wi-Fi is out. And we don't have traditional cable like Comcast or something like that. We have YouTube TV, which is streaming cable, essentially. So I wake up to no TV.
Yeah.
No Wi-Fi at our house.
No Ryder Cup.
On Saturday morning.
Nothing. Wow.
That was painful. I had to watch the Notre Dame game on my phone.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to find some feed on my phone for the IU game, and it was like, obviously somebody was boosting it. It was some stolen feed, and they had some big thing right in the middle. Hey, if you donate, you can get this without this big label in front of the game. And,
I watched College Game Day on my phone. I watched the Notre Dame game on my phone. I watched the Ryder Cup on my phone. I watched the IU game. Fortunately,
Spectrum.
I'll give Spectrum major props. Called them Saturday morning. They were able to get same day service to a guy to come out and fix the problem, and it was our modem, and so it was a bad modem. They swapped out the modem, got it going just in time for the Oregon Penn State game in Happy Valley and the whiteout.
Yes.
That game lived up to all the hype. Double overtime. Oregon ends up winning it by intercepting Penn State right there at the end.
30-24. Okay, so we talked about this on Friday. Penn State was having a whiteout, but then the players showed up in blue. Shouldn't they be matching the white with the fans?
I hate this. So if you don't know what a whiteout is at Penn State, it's probably the best tradition in all of college football right now. It's where everybody in the stadium wears white and everybody participates. Like if you see, shots of the crowd, everybody's wearing the shirt. They're all in white. Everything's hyped. It's always a night game. Penn State comes running out on the field, and they're wearing their navy blue uniforms, which they normally wear the navy blue jerseys at home, but you would think if they're having a whiteout,
right, they would be matching the fans.
They would wear the white jerseys with the white pants, but they didn't. That's the reason why Penn State lost. Get your act together, Penn State. When you have a whiteout, you wear the white jerseys. You didn't do that. You wore the navy blue. You lost to Oregon.
That's what happened. Hey, Roll Tide, number 16 Alabama upset number 3 Georgia. I was happy about that one.
That was the only bet I lost this weekend. I took.
You bet against Alabama?
I did. Well, Alabama's been terrible this year.
Yeah,
Georgia has been very good, and Georgia was only giving up 3.5 points.
Didn't Nick Saban look good in his white suit, though, for College Game Day?
If you didn't watch College Game Day on ESPN, they were at Happy Valley at Penn State for the whiteout game, and all of the anchors were wearing all white suits. All white suits, white shirts, white ties, and the best meme I saw on Twitter ever that was just a nice tight shot of Nick Saban, white sports coat, white shirt, white tie, and the person said, in my mind, this is what God looks like.
By the way, somebody made the kick. They always do that $300,000 kick.
Well, it varies. So Pat McAfee, one of the hosts, of course, Indianapolis, played for the Colts forever. We all love Pat McAfee. He was a kicker, and so they've started this thing the last couple of years where they pick a student out of the crowd to kick, like, I think it's about a 35 or 40-yard field goal to win money.
Yeah.
And it's always like at least $100,000. I think it's gotten up to as much as $500,000. It was $300,000 this week, and the kid made it.
Yes.
That also has become a fantastic part of college football, is this weekly kick that these kids can make to win hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's just been great.
Now, something we didn't miss because of our outage with our Spectrum was the Friday night game, Florida State in that double overtime against Virginia.
That was another great game.
That game was amazing.
And again, comes down to the last play, double overtime, and it was at Virginia. Florida State drops the ball in the end zone. Virginia wins, and those students and fans were literally right there next to the sideline. And as soon as that Florida State player dropped that ball, that was the fastest field rush I have ever seen, ever.
So you had Indiana with a close call, but they pulled out the win.
Still looking strong. Look, Iowa's not easy. You go into Iowa City and play Iowa, it's going to be a tough game. It was a tough game for IU, but they pulled it out and still undefeated.
Notre Dame winning easily against Arkansas.
This is Notre Dame. I think the final score was like 56-13. Notre Dame beat Arkansas so badly that the next day Arkansas fired their head coach.
Right.
That's how bad. And normally on Twitter especially, people are always jawing back and forth at each other. And if your team loses, it's, the refs lost, or if we hadn't done this or whatever. No, the Arkansas fans were totally defeated after that game. They were like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. We should fire the coach. We should fire the athletic director. We should get rid of the whole team and start new. We stink. We're awful. Arkansas fans were just totally defeated after that game.
The Indiana Fever, they beat the Las Vegas Aces 98-83 in Game 4 Sunday at Gamebridge, and that means they're forcing Game 5, which is set for Tuesday in Las Vegas.
This has been such a great story, and because Caitlin Clark's been hurt and hasn't been playing, it's really kind of flown under the radar that despite these massive injuries, and it's funny, you look at the Indiana Fever bench, and it's all these women in street clothes because they're injured, whether it's Caitlin Clark or Sophie Cunningham. These great players have been out for extended periods of time and aren't playing in the playoffs. Yet despite all of that, the Indiana Fever are one win away from playing in the WNBA Finals. It's been a great, great story.
Okay. The disappointing one, the Colts.
Yeah.
Mitchell looked like he was about to cry in the post-game interview.
Yeah, the wide receiver for the Colts, Mitchell, had this incredible, running for the touchdown. He was one of those breakaways. There's nobody behind him. He gets to like the 5-yard line and goes to showboat a little bit and kind of goes to put the ball out in front of him over the goal line, and it slips out of his hands at the 1-yard line, and the Colts lose by a touchdown. That was the touchdown that they lost
that they needed. Get across that line and then celebrate.
Heartbreaking.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
You probably have a dream retirement in mind, but do you know how to get there? The difference between dreaming and living your ideal retirement comes down to having the right plan. And that's where Howard Bailey Financial can help. At Howard Bailey Financial, we've created a free retirement toolkit to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Text DREAM to 888-262-1104 to download your free retirement toolkit that includes a retirement checklist, Social Security decisions guide, estate planning guide, and more. We want your dream retirement to be your reality. And it starts by texting DREAM to 888-262-1104. Let us help you take the next step toward the retirement of your dreams. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Zillow ranking Indy number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to max your equity. I'm talking about real estate expert Mark Dietl. That's what Luke and Emma in Franklin did. They built their dream home. They needed to sell their old place to get the great price to pay for it. Mark Dietl made it easy. Multiple offers in the first weekend, closed in 25 days at the price they needed. Mark Dietl and his team came through big.
Mark Dietl is the best in the business, and he has the guarantee that backs it up. Mark Dietl is the only real estate agent that we recommend, and he guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price or deadline, or he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. That's what separates Mark Dietl. 755-4232 or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business. We mean business.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, a decision gets made about an upcoming execution in Indiana. You'll hear what the governor had to say. A shooting in Indianapolis this morning. You'll hear what police know so far about that and how faith leaders in Indy feel about the shooting at a church in Michigan that happened over the weekend. Those stories and more after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 11 o'clock.
Can he end the war in Gaza? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Nobody knows better than President Trump to reach a good deal, a reasonable deal for both sides. Both sides have to give up a little bit.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, as a meeting is about to start between the president and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, keeps waging war against Hamas, which keeps holding Israeli hostages.
The president wants to finalize a 21-point peace plan, which really centers around post-war stabilization to ensure that both sides are willing to stop fighting.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House.
This 21-point plan reportedly includes a hostage prisoner exchange, a U.S.-backed Palestinian authority to temporarily govern Gaza, and Israel halting future strikes in Qatar.
Off the coast of Yemen, another ship hit by what may have been another missile fired by Iran-backed Houthi militants who've been attacking ships in and around the Red Sea since Israel started waging war in Gaza. Britain's military reports today's attack set that vessel on fire. Back to President Trump, and after that Netanyahu meeting, he's going to sit down with congressional leaders, including Democrats, trying to avert a government shutdown before tomorrow night's deadline. And Caroline Leavitt tells Fox.
This is a bill that keeps the government funded at the exact same levels as today, just adjusted for inflation. So there is zero good reason for the Democrats to vote against this.
Well, Democrats are pushing for provisions they say will prevent cuts to health care coverage for Americans. The search continues through the rubble of the burned-down church a gunman attacked in Grand Blanc, Michigan, looking for people still unaccounted for. He drove through the front door, started shooting during Sunday services, killing at least 4 people and wounding 8. This man tells Fox he's lucky he made it out alive.
I felt some shrapnel hit my left leg, and then
As I'm running to the door, bullet grazed or went past me, hit the door on the left side of me about a foot away.
That gunman was shot dead by police. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An execution where the governor has given his approval. Now 76 degrees in the Circle City under a sunny sky. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Gutter Helmet. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Roy Lee Ward, convicted of raping and killing a 15-year-old girl named Stacy Payne in 2001, is supposed to be executed next month. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Lee Ward will be executed on October 10th. Governor Mike Braun signed off Monday after the Indiana Parole Board unanimously recommended moving forward. That decision came after a clemency hearing last week where the board pointed to how brutal the crime was and the fact that Stacy Payne's family wanted the sentence carried out. Ward's attorney said that he was remorseful and raised concerns about his mental health. They also challenged Indiana's lethal injection process in a series of appeals. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man was shot while driving on I-465 this morning. State Police Sergeant John Perrine said it was on I-465 westbound near the East Street exit. They don't believe this was a road rage incident, but the man who was shot is expected to survive. Faith leaders in Indianapolis are reacting to Sunday's shooting at a Mormon church in Michigan.
You know, it's devastating anytime we see an attack like this, especially at a house of worship, and innocent people are victims of another mass shooting.
That's Senior Pastor Kenneth Sullivan Jr. from New Direction Church speaking with Wish TV. He says they'll be carefully reviewing their own security measures. The Indianapolis Colts are now 3-1 on the season after losing to the Los Angeles Rams Sunday, 27-20. This fan told the Ascension St. Vincent radio network after the game that Colts fans should be thrilled with where the team is, though.
You know, who would have thought that start of this season will be 3-1 after 4 games. I'll take it all day.
Colts wide receiver Adonai Mitchell fumbled going in for a touchdown in the third quarter, and he later said mistakes like that can't happen. As for the Indiana Fever, they needed to win on Sunday against the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA semifinals to keep their season alive, and they did just that, 90-83. Odyssey Sims scored 18 points to help the Fever win, and after the victory, she discussed what helped them out the most.
Just being more aggressive, making sure we got to beat the ball. I mean, nobody can stop her down there. Loved her aggression today. When we carry it over on Tuesday, keep it going so we can get to the finals.
AB is Aaliyah Boston. Boston finished with a playoff career high 24 points. Game 5 Tuesday night at 9:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? You know, if the holes are too big, debris gets in, and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top, and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home, and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months, no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off, restrictions apply, and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET. That's 800-5HELMET, or GutterHelmetIndy.com, and never clean your gutters again.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
It's a really big word I've never even heard of before. So over the weekend, Donald Trump posted a couple different videos on his Truth Social account. One he left up, the other he took down. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC. I'm Casey. Rob has the day off. Rob Kendall with a day off. He'll be back tomorrow, and Jim is filling in today. So one of the videos that Donald Trump posted was the endocannabinoid system video.
Sure. Well, that sounds about right.
Right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The endocannabinoid system is a complex cell signaling system that helps regulate critical body functions. Discovered in the early 1990s, active in your body, even if you don't use cannabis. Okay, we're not going to play the whole thing because it's like 2.5 minutes long.
Okay.
But here is part of the video that Trump posted over the weekend.
You can revolutionize senior health care. We've all heard about the major systems in our bodies, like the digestive, respiratory, nervous, and cardiovascular systems. But there's one essential system discovered in the 90s that you probably never heard of.
Nope.
It makes all of the other systems work smoothly with each other. Like a conductor, ensuring the different sections of an orchestra all play a beautiful symphony together. This system is called the endocannabinoid system. It has been acknowledged and studied by scientists extensively with support from the National Institutes of Health. As we age, the system weakens. As a result, the different systems in our body stop working together smoothly. That's one of the reasons older adults struggle with pain, inflammation, cognitive decline, and other ailments of aging.
Okay, so the video goes on to explain what this system is in your body. Suddenly, something that nobody's ever talked about really becomes the answer for everything. It's just been hidden from us this whole time. What is Donald Trump doing here?
Well, I mean, this is part of, and if you watch that whole video, they go on to talk about how CBD is helpful for this system and can relieve inflammation and pain, especially when you get older. And that's what we're talking about here. Look, this is just part of the MAHA movement. I'm sure this is being driven by RFK Jr. because this is exactly the sort of thing he's into. Look, I have no idea if this endocannabinoid system.
Nice job.
Oh, did I get it right?
Yeah,
I was just guessing.
Yeah.
What it is, what it does, whether CBD helps. But I got to give Trump credit for at least trying to find out. You've got to remember here, people were there was no research about marijuana as far as a medicine for decades in this country. Back in the 40s or 50s or whatever it was, federal government said, nope, this has absolutely nothing. Nobody can research it. Nobody can touch it. It's bad, 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 bad. And we just sat on that for decades. And so finally, in the last decade or so, people have been like, maybe we should reevaluate this again. So at least good on Donald Trump for saying, look, this is something that we've got to study. We've got to see if there's any benefits to it at all. And that's what he's doing here by putting out this video.
Or is he sending a signal to Big Pharma?
Oh, sure, that's part of it too. And
Play my game, or guess what?
And in fact, if you watch that whole video, they talk about how hey, look, you get older, and what does Big Pharma want to do? Just give you more dangerous medicine and more dangerous medicine, and there may be other alternatives out there. And I think that that's something that we all likely agree on. Hey, we don't want to be taking all kinds of pills. Sure, some of them help.
Is there a different answer out there?
If there's a different answer out there that gets us to the same healthy end game that we're looking for, let's explore those options. And I think that a lot of us have been saying that for a long time, and finally you've got a president and a politician that's at least taking us down that path.
It's at least thought-provoking, if nothing else. Now, they're talking about CBD and hemp, which is different from cannabis and marijuana. CBD, Delta-9, THC, they're legal only if they contain less than 0.3% THC. Anything above 0.3% THC is classified as marijuana and is illegal under Indiana law.
Yeah, and there's a lot of components to marijuana. THC has always been the one that gets you high, so that's the one everybody's talked about forever. But you're hearing a lot more about CBD now, and there are plenty of places around town where you can buy CBD. And, does it have medical benefits? Great. Let's ask that question. Let's do some more research, something we haven't done for decades and decades on this, and let's find out. And that's part of what Trump's talking about.
As of April 25 this year, 24 states plus Washington, D.C. have legalized both recreational and medical marijuana. Of course, here in Indiana, neither are legal, and all cannabis legislation bills failed again this past year.
Yet we're surrounded by states where
that are making boatloads of money.
Where it's at the very least legal from a medical standpoint. I believe Kentucky is legal for medical only, but Our other border states, Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan, are all recreationally legal.
So are we about to see some sort of cannabis legislation? Is that what Donald Trump is alluding to?
I think that's probably part of it as well. And we've seen a lot of this. And this was talked about under the Biden administration, too. Eventually, some president and some Congress is going to do it. And they're at the very least going to decriminalize, from a federal standpoint, marijuana.
Another video that he posted over the weekend was med beds. This has been a theory kicked around for quite a while. A patient lays in this bed, and they say that it can do all sorts of stuff, cure diseases, reverse the aging process.
All from a bed?
All from this very special bed. It was an AI-generated video, and it was taken down. So what's the point of putting that up just to take it down? Is it, again, to get us talking about it?
Or they had some...
Or was it an intern who, whoops, made a mistake?
Right. That video might not have been ready for prime time and shouldn't have been posted and got out there accidentally or something like that. Obviously, it was a big Maha weekend for Trump's social media, obviously.
Yeah, it was. So, Donald Trump, he did announce new tariffs on some branded pharmaceuticals that will take effect October 1st. Generic drugs are exempt. But here's the question that I have. Will the federal staff responsible for clarifying or enforcing the tariffs be working? This tariff is to take place October 1st. We're also looking at a government shutdown October 1st.
That's supposed to take place on October 1st.
So...
Yeah, that's a great point. So, the whole government, when they talk about a government shutdown, the vast majority of the government still keeps functioning because it's deemed essential. Things like the military, things like your Social Security checks, those keep operating. I don't know about the FDA and how much or how little they keep operating under a government shutdown. So these tariffs, while Trump announced them, they may not take effect on the timeline he wants to if the government shutdown ends up happening tomorrow night.
So experts are saying that enforcing the policy will be challenging. It's difficult to distinguish between brand or generic drugs. And obviously there's some confusion about the government shutdown. Another thing that Donald Trump just announced this morning, about an hour ago, a 100% tariff on all movies made outside the United States. He said, our movie-making business has been stolen from the United States of America by other countries, just like stealing candy from a baby. I'll be imposing 100% tariffs on any and all movies that are made outside the United States.
I don't even know how that works. Because you don't...
Distribution?
Yeah, I mean, nobody really buys I can understand if you were buying a DVD for a movie that was made outside the United States, that there would be a tariff on the DVD, I guess. But, like, if I go to rent a movie on Amazon Prime or something else, some video on demand...
And it was made outside of the country?
And it was made outside the country.
Is the price going to be higher?
Right. Am I paying more than $5 to rent it like I usually do for video on demand? Or am I still paying the $5 and... Amazon Prime is absorbing the tariff, what if you go see it in the movie theaters? Like, I don't.
Ticket price is going to be high.
I need to do some more research on this because I'm not sure.
They will stop bringing those movies here. But when was the last time you went and saw a foreign movie?
But it's something that you don't physically bring in anymore. There's no I mean, yeah, there's still DVDs, but for the most part, 99% of it is consumed. It's just this virtual. You're streaming it. I get if you want to import corn. That's an easy way to get a tariff. It shows up at the port. You put a tariff on it before it's allowed in the United States. There's no physical importation of movie. It's intellectual property. It's just being done. It's being done over the internet. All the files are being transferred that way.
So Andrew Ireland, state rep, he posted something over the weekend, which I thought was interesting. He said Indiana should enact a 2% tax on remittances, transfers of money to foreign countries, and use every penny to reduce our gas taxes, fix our roads, and make Mexico pay for it.
Andrew Ireland with another banger. That's all he does. He just tweets out banger after banger. It's a great thing. I looked into this a little bit. There's only one other state in the entire country, Oklahoma, that has a remittance. And so this is when you electronically transfer money outside from the United States to someplace outside of the United States. Oklahoma imposes a 2% tax on that.
I believe theirs is 1%.
Oh, is there? Okay, they're the only other ones. Theirs is 1%. Yeah. Andrew Ireland is advocating for 2% here in Indiana. I haven't looked into this much. It seems like it's a win-win across the board. I mean, you're sending money outside the United States. You pay a tax on that. It's not so 2% is pretty mild, although I hate all taxes. That's at least it's not. What I fear here is that other states start doing this, and then people just drive like.
Right. What's to stop you if you've got to send money somewhere and you've got this 2% tax here in Indiana? What's to stop you just from going to Illinois
or Michigan or Ohio and doing the transfer there? There's nothing to stop you
until other states start doing
but
it.
2% hopefully is a low enough tax to where it's not worth it to do that. If you were to send $1,000 outside the country, 2% is going to be $20. Probably going to, use more than $20 worth of gas to drive to Ohio and back to send this out there. So you probably just pay the tax.
It is creative thinking, though. I like where he's going with that. Now, you and I had an interesting conversation, I believe it was last night, about living tax-free. Not paying any taxes.
Could you imagine? So we did have this, academic discussion yesterday. Yeah.
And we'll get into it again coming up and also talk about the largest concert in U.S. history. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swainco 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business. We mean business.
We're having an all-night revival. Some call the women and someone steal the Bible.
Well, that sounds like a fun song.
Yeah, that sounds good. I don't know it. Not familiar with it.
I don't know it either. Zach Bryan, is that right, Kevin? Is that who this is?
Yeah, it's called Revival. It's by Zach Bryan.
Oh, I have heard of this
Not
before.
to be confused with other country acts, the Zach Brown Band or Luke Bryan. This is a combination of the two. Zach Bryan, totally different guy.
Yeah. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Casey. Rob Kendall is off today, and that is Jim. So Zach Bryan, he's a Grammy Award winner, and he just made history by breaking the record for the largest concert in U.S. history. Over 112,000 people in attendance. Of course, where Where are you gonna host a concert?
Where
that
you got a
size?
stadium big enough to fit 112,000 people? It got to be a college football stadium. You could do it probably at Tennessee, a couple other stadiums.
Nope, it was at the Big House.
Ann Arbor.
In Ann Arbor. So when you're having a concert that size, you cannot bill it as an intimate show with Zach Bryan.
With Zach Bryan. It's a very intimate concert with just Zach Bryan. No, it's 112,000 people. So this is fresh off. Zach Bryan just performed at Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago at Notre Dame Stadium. Notre Dame Stadium, not quite as big as the Big House, but there were still about 90,000 people there for that show. Shane Gillis, the comedian, opened up for him there, and now over the weekend, he was in the Big House performing in front of 112,000 people.
Well, congratulations to him. He made history. I kind of like that song. I'm going to have to get that one on my Spotify playlist. Okay?
It's a good one. I'm just not familiar with any of his music.
Yeah. You know what? You sent me this yesterday, and it hurts.
Oh.
It hurts. It hurts so much. We got the second half of our property tax bill.
Oh yeah. Now we knew it was coming because you get what you owe for the year, around March or so. And we made the first payment in May, and now we got the second payment.
So this one's due in November?
Yeah, November.
Yeah, $1,700.
Yeah, that's half.
Ouch.
Half. And I believe I didn't do the.
Wait, no. Let me be specific.
Please do.
$1,770.62.
Yeah, I did the math when we got the full bill for the year in the spring, and I think that was up 17% from the previous year.
Is that all?
Just 17%. Just 17%. That's all. We don't need any property tax relief.
Yeah.
That's nothing. 17% is totally normal.
Do you feel like everything's 17% better?
My services are the roads are 17% better. The schools are 17%. No, of course they're not. No. This is why we all advocated for property tax reform, and they threw us a nickel and said, "Be happy with it."
I was told they're going to readdress that.
I'm sure. Oh yeah,
January.
I'm
Top
sure.
priority.
I'm sure there'll be a special session. Oh no, there won't be a special session.
Oh no, but
to
they
readdress that.
will have one for redistricting.
Yeah.
Possibly.
No. Well, that's more important to them.
Priorities.
It's more
Gotcha.
important, yeah.
I see where I stand on the hierarchy. Them getting more power, me getting relief from my property taxes.
I told you they gave you a nickel for property tax relief. Be happy about it.
Yeah.
And keep your mouth shut.
Okay, so we had this because of that bill. We had a conversation last night about, is it possible to go a year without paying any taxes on anything?
Now, this is obviously...
You got to play along.
For fun academic discussion, and we're talking about direct tax payments, because you could make the argument that, okay, if I go to the grocery store, that grocery store has to pay property taxes, so they're factoring the property taxes into the cost of the... No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about direct taxes. So the only way you could do this...
Yeah.
And let's say you tried to do it for a year and pull it off. So you couldn't earn any income... For the most part.
So you're going to have to save to do this.
Yeah, you'd have to save up, or you'd have to have like a...
I see the first problem.
You'd have to have a Roth IRA, something you've already paid taxes on, to where you could withdraw that money.
Yeah, use that money.
Tax-free.
Okay.
So that's number one. That gets your income.
So that way you won't have an income tax.
That way you won't have an income tax or pay Social Security or Medicare taxes or any of those sorts of things. So you'd either have to save that money to live on for a year or pull it out of some tax-deferred thing like a Roth IRA.
Got it. Okay.
Not easy, but none of this is really practical.
Property tax.
Property taxes. Okay, so you can't do that. So if you own your house or you have a mortgage, you're going to have property taxes, so that means you're going to have to rent. And again, not a direct tax. Yes, you
do pay property tax when you rent, though, but it's
not
rolled into your rent.
Rolled into your cost, similar to how it's rolled into the property taxes at the grocery store, rolled into your cost of your groceries. So that's not a direct tax on this. So you're renting.
Okay.
That's number one. Okay.
Gas
tax. You're going to have to either ride a bike, or drive a Tesla.
Okay.
So
you're going to have to already have that Tesla, though, before your year begins, because you would pay taxes on the purchase
of that, and you would have to pay a registration fee and all that sort of stuff, which is a tax. You'd have to pay all of that in advance. But drive a Tesla. That gets you away from paying any gas tax or sales tax on gas. You really basically have to... Yeah. So the Tesla is the way to go.
Okay, but I see a problem with that because Teslas run on electricity. So you're going to pay tax on that bill
Okay, so for your electricity at both your place that you're renting and to power your Tesla, you're going to have a massive solar array. So you're going to have to purchase that before the year starts and have a big solar array so that you're not paying sales tax or any other utility taxes. And that solar array is going to have to power the charging of your Tesla and take care of your heat and all your electricity in your house as
so
well.
we're not asking for a lot here. You need a short-term rental that has a solar array.
That's going to allow me to install a massive solar array to power all of my electricity needs for my entire house and my car.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, now what about sales tax? Because you got to eat.
Okay, you have to. So the only way. So there are 5 states that do not have sales tax. So you would have to.
What were they? They were Montana.
Montana, Oregon, Alaska, Delaware, and New Hampshire. Those are the 5 states.
Closest one to us, I believe we figured out, was Delaware.
Delaware's be the closest one to us, about 10 hours away. So you would have to either buy all your groceries for the entire year in advance, or you could just go to Delaware and stock up on all your groceries and anything you need to purchase.
And then bring it back to Indiana?
Bring it back, but you'd have to do that in your Tesla.
Right. That's
because I'm not aware. I'm not aware of like a 20-foot U-Haul that's available in an all-electric model. So you'd have to do that in your Tesla, drive that 10 hours, which you only get about 250 miles per charge, so it would probably take you like 3 days to get to Delaware, of stopping and getting a charge, and then stock up on all your purchases, food, and everything else you need without paying sales tax in Delaware, and then drive them back to Indiana.
Okay, now what about your cell phone bill? Is there a tax? Or your cell phone, you'd have to have, a prepaid one, get it on Marketplace?
Well, yeah, because you'd pay sales tax on your cell service with Verizon or something like. So the only way around that is you'd have to have. Other ways to avoid taxes would be buying things at garage sales or on Facebook Marketplace.
Sure.
And that's totally legal because the person doing the selling is responsible for collecting the sales tax.
So if they put something on Marketplace for $100, it's up to them to collect the sales tax.
It's up to them to collect the sales tax. Nobody ever does. As the purchaser, I'm not breaking any laws or doing any tax avoidance. It's on the seller to take care of the sales tax. So with a cell phone, you'd have to buy an old iPhone and then just use it connected to Wi-Fi.
So all of your calls you're making
via Wi-Fi or via
Starbucks or McDonald's or something like this.
Yeah. So
this is becoming very complicated.
But we did this it kind of just as a fun little exercise to kind of prove how.
You cannot live. Everything you do in your life is taxed.
Everything at every step of the way is taxed. But if you really wanted to try this as an experiment, we've just given you the recipe. We gave you the playbook on how to pull it off. Probably can't do it long. A year would be really tough, but that would kind of be the scenario which we structured. Find a way to pull it off for a year.
Good luck with that.
I think it'd be fun. We should try it. See what happens.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's give it a shot. Yeah. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
As the kids go back to school, you'll probably spend less time on vacation and out at the pool and start spending more time indoors. You'll take a look around and see some easy DIY projects like touching up painted walls or cleaning your windows. But what about that annoying dip in your floor? If you're starting to notice sagging or bouncy floors, the experts from Indiana Foundation Service can help. It may seem like an overwhelming problem to you, but rest assured the team at Indiana Foundation Service are experts at taking care of your problem. Indiana Foundation Service certified field inspectors can come out and explain what's happening to your floors, identify your permanent crawl space solution, and provide you with a no-pressure quote. If you're ready to fix your sagging or bouncy floors, visit IndianaFoundation.com to get your free inspection now. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Trying to reach a compromise to avoid a government shutdown. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries on Capitol Hill saying because of President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill, more hospitals and clinics are having to close up shop.
This is a 5-alarm fire in terms of the Republican-caused health care crisis. And that's why Democrats are determined to turn things around.
Republicans are accusing Democrats of using the shutdown threat to pass a bunch of unrelated items. The deadline to avoid the shutdown is tomorrow. The video game company Electronic Arts is going private in a $55 billion deal. It's being acquired by a group of investors. One battle after another is the winner at this weekend's box office. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, and it earned $22.4 million in its opening weekend. On the Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You probably have a dream retirement in mind, but do you know how to get there? The difference between dreaming and living your ideal retirement comes down to having the right plan. And that's where Howard Bailey Financial can help. At Howard Bailey Financial, we've created a free retirement toolkit to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Text DREAM to 888-262-1104 to download your free retirement toolkit that includes a retirement checklist, Social Security decisions guide, estate planning guide, and more. We want your dream retirement to be your reality. And it starts by texting DREAM to 888-262-1104. Let us help you take the next step toward the retirement of your dreams. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $400 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
My brother never checks on dad. Or, my sister won't make time to take mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
At Price Point Comfort, we're here to keep your home cozy and comfortable, and we'll always have your best interests at heart.
Just go to PricePointComfort.com. Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Lots of talk about a possible government shutdown happening tomorrow at midnight, and the White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, just said that if Democrats shut the government down tomorrow, food assistance programs for women and children and impoverished communities will be defunded. And with one sentence, the Democrats lost.
Yeah, and usually, if you go back and look at government shutdowns historically over the last 20 or 30 years, whenever there's a government shutdown, the public usually blames Congress. For whatever reason, the public does not blame the president. They usually blame Congress. So Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer are already, starting off behind the eight ball here. But Trump has said that if the government shuts down, he's going to fire thousands of federal workers, which is what he wanted to do under Doge before,
the court said he couldn't.
Yeah, certain judges stopped him anyway. So again, Trump's like, yeah, don't threaten me with a good time here. And now with Carolyn Leavitt coming out and saying that they're going to, the government shutdown would stop food assistance payments from the federal government. But Schumer and Jeffries are really kind of boxed in here because it's their liberal left progressives that want them to fight Trump on anything, that are telling them that, hey, you've been rolling over to Trump too much. We want you to fight. So they're really kind of boxed into a bad position here.
Right, because they know that they can't have him agree with that.
They can't have him agree with that, and they've got no leverage here against Trump. They've got absolutely no leverage against Trump. Trump wants a government shutdown. So they're really in a really difficult spot. I think there's going to be a government shutdown tomorrow night. It'll probably last a couple of days.
Unless they're meeting this afternoon. They're meeting Trump and Jeffries and Schumer, unless he just lays it out to them. Hey, you're losing this
And
one.
the Democrat base will tear Jeffries and Schumer apart because if they don't fight Trump, that's what they want more than anything. So the likely outcome is here, the government will shut down for a few days, and then Schumer will give in and give Trump what he wants, but that way Schumer can go back to his base
I
fought hard and we shut the government down and did everything we could. That's about from the Democrats' perspective, leadership, Schumer and Jeffries, that's about the best possible outcome they could hope for.
So when you watch TV, do you have these subtitles on? They're apparently becoming mainstream, especially for young adults. 40% of adults under the age of 45 are using subtitles, especially when they're watching TV or movies. 30% of adults over 45 do the same. So it's more younger people that are using subtitles than older adults.
And we saw this with our daughter, who's 24. And I first noticed it when she went to college and she had like 7 roommates at this house that they rented. Every time we would go there and the TV would be on, it would always have subtitles on. And she still does it to this day, even though she's no longer in college. So, yeah, it's definitely a Gen Z thing to watch TV with subtitles.
55% say they do that to catch every word of dialogue. Now, I will do that if it's a show that has a thick accent.
The British shows?
Yeah.
Watch those British shows? Absolutely. You need the subtitles on there because usually it's difficult to
and
hear
there
everything.
and there it is. 40% say they use subtitles when they have difficulty with accents or watching a foreign language content. 30% use subtitles when watching in a noisy environment or they have poor audio quality, and 25% do it while they're multitasking. Obviously other people use it because they have a hearing impairment, or possibly they're learning a new language or watching with the sound off, so they still get the action or the drama and the dialogue without actually hearing it.
Here's another thing, too, and this was, there's a specific director, Christopher Nolan, that loves to have the score and the music in his movies, the volume of that really, really high. This was I don't know if you remember this, but he came out with that movie 1917, which is about World War I a few years ago. And that was the main complaint of the movie, is that people had a hard time hearing the dialogue in the movie because the score and the music
was too loud.
Was so loud that it was difficult to hear. And Christopher Nolan said, nope, that's exactly the way I wanted it to be.
I wanted you to not be able to hear the script.
I want the score to really be a big part of the movie experience itself, and so there's that aspect to it, to where there are certain types of movies and certain types of TV shows with the sound effects and the score are really loud, and having the subtitles on, allows that dialogue to, at least you'd be able to consume the dialogue in a different way.
Most modern TVs have rear-facing speakers, which really degrades the sound quality, makes it harder to hear. And as you mentioned, the score, but there's another thing that I've noticed, and it's the whisper acting.
Yeah, that's gotten bigger and bigger.
Who used to do that all the time? Kiefer Sutherland used to do that.
Kiefer Sutherland would do the heavy whisper.
He would be really loud, and then all of a sudden he would get really quiet.
In the TV show 24.
Yes, and it would drive me crazy because the audio level would jump all over the place. And there's a lot of shows that have really inconsistent levels of volume. Like Game of Thrones was like that. You'll be watching and you hear dialogue, and then out of nowhere it's really, really loud, and you're like running for the remote to turn it down. So a lot of people are just choosing, hey, you know what? Just keep it low, but keep the subtitles
That's
on.
funny you mentioned the whispering thing, because famously another Christopher Nolan series, Batman, had Christian Bale.
Same thing.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm not allowing you to come in here any further.
Some people say that they're using the subtitles to help them focus. If they have like ADHD or something, it helps them to focus in on what's actually going on.
What? Yeah. Are people distracted? I can't watch even sporting events. I watch with my phone in my hand, especially sporting events, because I want to not only watch what's on the TV, but I'm also following all the sports people I follow on Twitter and to seeing their commentary the whole time. So, yeah, I can see that, because we're a distracted world, and I'm certainly part of that.
Yeah. So this article says that younger generations treat subtitles as just a standard part of watching, similar to like using an emoji or streaming on your mobile device. It's just what they do.
It's just what these kids do these days.
These crazy kids. Okay, I don't know if you saw this, but USA Today named their 10 best cideries in the country.
Okay, now I've never heard the
Hard
term.
cider.
I made context clues. I picked up on that. I've never heard the term cidery before, but that means a place that brews and makes hard cider.
Correct.
Got it.
And guess who won? Ash and Elm Cider Company in Indianapolis.
Is one of the top 10 cideries in the country, according to USA Today. Congratulations, Ash and Elm. That's awesome.
We've been there.
We have been there.
Do you remember that place? We sat
I do.
outside
I
on the side.
I think it's on the east side of town, and they've got a ton of great hard ciders.
Yeah.
Like even if you're not into hard cider, which I'm not, we did flights. If you remember, so
We did.
They lined up like 4 different hard ciders.
Yeah,
and a
so I
flight.
could pick my favorite.
So we could sample them and try them, and they had great food. That's well deserved. Ash and Elm's a fun place to be.
So today we're having a little beverage segment here. This is the drink segment.
This is the beverage segment?
Yeah,
Okay.
beverage
What else
segment.
you got?
Today's National Coffee Day. 2/3 of Americans, 66%, drink at least 1 cup of coffee daily. That's up 7% since 2020, which is interesting because the cost of coffee is getting much more expensive. So the average consumption of coffee per day, how much do you think the average person drinks?
Ooh, the average. Is this by
This is
cups?
by
or
cup.
pots. How many pots of coffee they
No,
drink?
this
It's
is
cups.
by cup.
I'm going to say, is it a whole number or are there fractions like 6.5 or 12 and
Yeah,
2/3?
yeah, yeah.
There's a fraction
there's
in there?
a fraction.
I'm going to say 2.5.
That's it.
2.5! Nailed it!
2.5 cups of coffee per day for the average coffee drinker. 36% enjoy coffee away from home. 82% drink coffee at home. Yeah.
Okay,
no
now
kidding.
you've got to be honest. Because you're a bigger we love our coffee, but you're an even bigger coffee drinker than I am.
Yeah.
How many cups of coffee do you drink a day? And just so you know, when you fill up that travel tumbler,
My travel tumbler.
that's more than 1 cup of coffee. That's
how many do you think is in here?
2. There's 2 cups of coffee per travel tumbler, so you don't get
Really?
to count that as 1. So how many cups of coffee are you drinking a day?
I'm rocking 4 cups a day.
Are you at 4? I'm probably
Yeah.
I'm at 2 or 3 probably. So that's not.
If this counts for 2.
The travel tumbler definitely counts for 2 cups.
Yeah,
of coffee.
1 in the morning, travel tumbler at work, and then again 1 in the afternoon when I'm doing the template for the next day.
When I was a kid, my parents would drink coffee in the afternoon, and I thought, that is just such an old man thing to do. What are you doing, Dad?
Turns
6
out-
o'clock in the evening. What are you drinking coffee for,
Yeah.
Dad?
Is that
Old
why I
man?
have a problem going to sleep at night?
And then the older I get, the more coffee I drink, and the more it goes beyond just the morning and into lunch and later in the day and the late afternoon and evening, and it's just because it's
I
so
would
delicious.
say that, I'm drinking it for all the health benefits that are associated with coffee.
Is that why?
But it turns out that I like cream with a little coffee.
And the jolt of caffeine that it gives us to push us through whatever we're doing that day.
So the cost of ground roast coffee averages $8.87 a pound, up 40% from the last year. 40%.
40% increase in the price of coffee. Now, here's the good news with that. Coffee is a commodity.
Yeah.
And so that price will fluctuate, and it'll go up, and it'll go back down depending on supply and demand. So
That's true.
Hopefully that's a temporary 40% increase in coffee, and they can get the supply moving and get that cost
There
back down.
are a lot of deals and promotions today for National Coffee Day, like your Dunkin' and your Krispy Kreme and even Starbucks and Casey's General Store, Circle K. They're all having a special.
It's a good day to go.
But just like the Kroger with the chocolate milk day, you have to download the app and then sign up and fill stuff out. It's not like you just walk into the store and get to enjoy the special deal or promotion. There's always a step you got to take.
Well, yeah, sign up, download the app, sign up for an account, get the coupon emailed to you,
Do the
show
thing.
it there. This is why the 7-Eleven free Slurpee Day promotion is so popular and successful, because you don't have to do anything for that.
Right.
You just walk into 7-Eleven, it's the small little Slurpee, you grab it, walk up to the
And
front,
you're good
they're
to go.
like, you're good, and you're out.
They often run out of supplies with that promotion, though. The 7-Eleven does.
But that's part of the fun. I mean, and it gets them some attention. They get a lot of earned media. Everybody's talking about it. tougher to do that when you've got to download an app and sign up for an account.
Okay, speaking of other beverages, I want to bring your attention to this. It is called Dirty Soda. Have you heard of this?
I have. I think that Sonic has been doing this.
Do they?
For the last couple of years. But it sounds like it's going beyond that.
Yeah, McDonald's, Taco Bell, and also TGI Fridays are introducing and testing dirty soda drinks. So what is dirty soda? It is your favorite soda with flavored syrup, cream, or milk added. And it's customizable. It just reminds me of when you would go to the movie theater and do like a suicide pop beverage. That's what they were called.
That's the Rob Kendall move. He does.
Yeah, a little bit of Mountain Dew, a little bit of
each
cherry, a little bit of this, little diet. So this started in Utah in 2010, and of course it got picked up by people on social media. And now this company that started the Dirty Soda, they have 140 locations across 16 states, and even like I mentioned, McDonald's and Taco Bell are picking up. They say that Dirty Soda appeals because it is lower caffeine than coffee, allowing all-day consumption. It's bright colors, it's social media friendly in its presentation, it's easy to implement, and it has a fun treat aspect to it.
Now, I'm going to say, Sonic does theirs a little bit different. I don't even know if this classifies as dirty soda, but I think it does. And I'm just going to warn you in advance, you're going to, when I describe to you what this is, you're going to recoil. But at Sonic, you can get like their slushies, strawberry, blueberry, whatever, and they dirty it up by adding pickle juice.
Oh.
Told you! Got the exact reaction I expected from you on that one. Yeah. So that's also kind of a twist on the dirty soda trend.
That'll make it have like a little bite to it.
Oh, briny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what this delicious cherry slushy needs?
Some pickle juice.
Pickle juice, something real salty and briny. That's what I was missing.
You're listening to the Kendall Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, back at it Monday afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy, and Guy Relford joins us for Monday Gun Day. Don't miss it.
We still have plenty of days left to enjoy our backyard spaces. It's Terry Stacy, and thanks to Premier Deck Coating, our deck is protected from the harsh environment fall and winter bring. Harsh because our deck is surrounded by black walnut trees, so nuts have always stained our deck. We just don't have that problem anymore because of Premier Deck Coating. Our 25-year-old deck looks brand new, and it's not. Locally owned Premier Deck Coating is the ultimate deck protection. Their special formulated product repels mold and moisture, scratch resistant, all backed by a 10-year guarantee. Premier Deck Coating takes care of sanding the wood. They repair the damaged boards in preparation before they apply the special formulated coating. They can also do the same for pergolas and fences. You truly will be thrilled with the results. No more painting year after year, easy to take care of, and that saves time and money. Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. There's still time to get you on the schedule before the year ends. For a free quote, visit premierdeckcoating.com.
Hey, ladies, are you interested in self-protection but don't know where to begin, or maybe you're too nervous to enter the gun store alone? Well, let me introduce you to Premier Arms. They're more than just a gun store. Premier Arms is a supportive community dedicated to empowering women. They have a friendly, educated staff, and they'll provide personalized guidance, ensuring you feel confident in your firearm choice. It's Casey Daniels letting you know Premier Arms is where female gun owners are supported. Call them today, 317-858-3030.
Retirement isn't just about reaching the finish line, it's about knowing how to play the next movement. Without a plan, your savings can feel like noise instead of music. I'm Jason Hutchins with Guardian Wells Financial. I've seen too many families head into retirement without the guidance they need. That's why I wrote Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. I'd like to mail you a copy at no cost. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929. Inside this book, you'll find real-world strategies on turning savings into income, making smarter Social Security decisions, and reducing a bite of taxes in retirement. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929 for your book today. Don't wait. Supplies are limited, and when they're gone, they are gone. Orchestrate your retirement. Discover the rhythm of a confident future.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wealth Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Call 317-660-0929.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln.
Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus, get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
36-month, 10,000-mile per year lease. $2,500 due at signing. No security deposit required. All offers subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details. Ends 9/30/25.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, we're here to support you every way we can. From answering your questions to helping coordinate appointments.
The whole team has been phenomenal there. They've made me feel like I'm a family member. I get hugs every time I go in. It's been such a blessing that the great care I've received has been so close to home.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Head online to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra Thursday, December 4th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
We have to do the story now because even if I force it on the template, Rob Kendall would never talk about it.
Because it's the Beatles?
Yeah, well, Paul McCartney, he's got the day off today. That's Jim. My name is Casey. So Paul McCartney has announced that he is launching his Got Back tour. And it started today. Well, it starts today in California. Paul McCartney.
Going on tour again.
83 years old.
Good for him. Okay, so how close is he coming to Indianapolis?
He's not coming to Indy.
Okay.
It looks like the closest he's coming is Chicago United Center at the end of November.
Oh, that'd be good. We've seen concerts at the United Center before.
He's also going to be he's going to be in Columbus as well. Oh, he's going to be in Des Moines, Iowa at Casey's Center.
Oh, that's the one we got to go to.
On October 14th.
If the place is called Casey's Center.
That's right.
That needs to be the one to go to. Have you ever seen him?
No.
Or Ringo
No.
or George
Nope.
Harrison? Never seen any of the Beatles
Nope.
perform? See, that seems like something that we need to do.
You think so?
I've never seen one of the Beatles perform. If you've got an opportunity, this may be the last chance.
This may be it.
to
These
see.
ticket prices.
Oh, they've got to be out of control.
Yeah. Okay, like I mentioned, Chicago United Center, $330, $358.
Is that just the get in the door price, or is that's the cheapest price? $350
The one
to
in
get
Columbus.
in the door.
The one in Columbus, starting at $517. The one in Des Moines, that might be our play, $205. Or you could go to Coors Field in Denver and see him for $98.
Almost be cheaper
to fly to
buy tickets and fly to Denver.
Have a bender in Denver and see Paul McCartney in concert.
That'd be. He's playing Coors Field. Is that what you said?
Mhm.
Where the Rockies play?
Mm-hmm.
That may be the one to target. I think we should do this because I've never seen any of the
Should
Beatles.
we?
I've never seen any of the Beatles perform live, and it seems like something that. I mean, how many concerts have we been to? Hundreds and hundreds. We've seen all the big stars over the years.
We're not doing that. It's October 11th, and I know you. You're not going to have it together in time to plan that.
2 weeks. I got 2 weeks. I've planned trips in 2 hours. Come on.
So it says that fans can expect iconic hits from his 60-plus year career, including Hey Jude, Live and Let Die, Band on the Run, Let It Be, and many more.
That would be, I think this is something we should do. I think we should target Des Moines. I think you should put in for a vacation day right now as we get off the air, walk down to your boss's office, put in a vacation day, and we should go to the Casey Center in Des Moines, Iowa, and see Paul McCartney at 83 years old.
Okay. Or not.
I'm more into this than you are. You're the Beatles fan.
It's true. Thank you, Jim. Hey, Rob's back tomorrow. Thank you, Kevin. Excellent job today. But mostly, thank you for listening. This has been the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced